Uh, Give us a sec to get sorted. As usual, if you could give us a thumbs up onto whether or not you can hear us or let us know of any issues, greatly appreciate it. Let's see if we got everything good here. To turn this down. Hey, Oxy. Be right with you guys. Okay, good. Thank you. What am I looking for? What is this? No, I don't want a damn filter. Me first, me first. Hey, sad doggo, glad that you're able to make it. Yeah, I think that's everything. I think. I don't know. We don't know. To be honest, I don't really care at the moment. Nearly. Yeah, it's good. We don't really have a first here. Um, let's see. Six so far. Boy, that stream looks like crap. I really wish that YouTube would let me broadcast at a higher resolution on the phone. I don't know why they don't. It doesn't make any sense, but that's YouTube. Oh, let's see, Sophie, getting ready to go to my sister's for dinner, so can't stay. But hello, Sophie. Thanks for popping in to say hello. Oh, dang, now I won't get the front seat. You all have front seats. That's the joy of this. Is you're sitting. Let's see, maybe about 2.5 to 3 feet in front of us. Close enough to make us uncomfortable. No, yeah, yeah. There's more than one front seat. How am I? Sound tired? Yeah, yeah. We're tired. I'm tired. The body's tired. The the title says it all. Taylor D, I've missed a few of these. I'm glad to be here for a bit. Turtle System, welcome, Turtle System. Taylor D equals Turtle System. We're trying to imprint it because we do try to refer to you guys as, you know, your system names or whatever names for who might be out. But there are a lot of you now. But we still do our best. So forgive us if we refer to you as your YouTube handle name. It's just easier for us. But for those that we do remember, we will try to call you by your preferred appellations. So let's let a few more people roll in here. Oxy, before we get into it. 420 Witch, hello. Good to see you, Blue Rose. Naomi, hello. Good to see you guys. Taylor D, you talk to Orchid a lot. Okay. Or I'm sorry, Turtle System, yes. Sorry, couldn't join earlier. Actually, that's okay. High five. Yeah, we got your message. Actually, it's just we're actually a little bit early for us. It's not quite 1 o'clock yet where we are, but we know the rest of y'all have been dealing with the time change and whatnot, so we didn't think about that when we were updating our things. But no, actually, you're not late. You're right on time. So don't worry about it. Let's see. 420 Witch, always welcome to call me Danny. At Twitch friends call me neither. Yeah. Danny Titch friends, Twitch. The brain is not really cogitating yet. We'll let you guys chat for a few minutes while we finish our donut here. And so, yeah, I'm sure you don't want to watch us eat. So we'll just flip this over. Say hello to everyone now. We'll be right back. Yes, Rosemary. Look, I ate half of the goddamn thing. Okay, leave me alone. I was willing to compromise and eat half the donut. Okay, just leave me alone. I'll eat the rest of it as we go along. Excuse me. Being nattered at. And she's relentless. So it's like, but I'm not in the mood. Not for her. So, okay, let's see here. Catch up. Food, body. Okay, let's see. Naomi, don't know how long I'll be able to stay because, hubby, we're sorry. We're sorry you're still dealing with that. We wish we could be supportive for you. That sounded weird, but you know what we meant. Well, let's see. Sad dog, I have to leave in 15 minutes, so I wanted to ask a question. Absolutely, go ahead. We'll let you go first there, Sad Doggo. Feel free to ask. Go ahead. We'll wait for your question while we skim this. Let's see. Lisa, hello. Let's see here. Just making sure to check Sad Doggo. Okay, let's see here. Lisa's here. Oxy's here. Feeling alone a lot today. Well, we got plenty of us here. Let's see. Yeah, fine, we know. Let's see. So, does everyone feel about hypnosis? That's a good question, said Doggo. We'll go ahead and take that. Personally, because this is one of the long before we ever found out that we were a system back in our teenage years, data was always he was propelled by one singular question, which was, is there nothing more than this? Is this all that there is to existence? Is this the be all end all of existence? And he was absolutely, I would say, obsessed with finding out the answer to that question. So he would study a lot of esoteric stuff, just everything, different religions across the world and everything. And one of the things that he did study was the psychology and whatnot, and looked into hypnosis. We actually have a textbook on it, for God's sakes, somewhere in the bookshelf in amongst hundreds of other tomes. TLDR it, because we do tend to ramble and we're out of focus today. So, and I know you're short on time. Under the right controlled circumstances, it might be useful. But as far as it goes for memory retrieval and things like that, the evidence does not point to, or at least the last evidence we looked at, or he looked at, does not point towards it being a reliable way to do it, because essentially what you're doing in a hypnotic state, here he comes, is you're essentially blurring the lines between the conscious and the subconscious. You're putting yourself more or less into a free form dissociative and associative state, where basically it's just your subconscious spitting stuff out at you like it does in the dream state, but you're awake. So you can't really quantify what you're pulling out in hypnosis. So for us, we've always seen it as or at least he's always put it down in the category of interesting, but not reliable. We talked about it briefly with our therapist early on. She didn't really feel that it was of much worth, basically for the same reasons, and being that DID is so complex as it is, as she put it, who the hell knows who we're actually going to be talking with and where we're going to be pulling it out from, and you're basically in a state of freeform association, disassociation anyway, so why would we want to make that thing better? So it was more complicated. So that's basically what she told us. So we stayed away from it, but we do know that it does have great effect, like say with the lesser conditions like stopping smoking or drinking. It can be efficacious for those folks. So not for us so much. Maybe some of the folks here in the audience have had some direct relationship with it. Like I said, admittedly, our info is a little out of date on that. So it's just not something that he really kept up on. That was relegated to the interesting, but not of massive importance right now. So basically, that's all we have on hypnosis for you, said Doggo. Maybe some of the other folks here will be able to tell you, but hopefully that'll give you maybe a little bit more questions. But yeah, TLDR, it just wasn't reliable for us. So that's where it's at. I'm sure it's valid for others though. Okay, let's see here. So hope that helps, said Doggo. Naomi, I live under threat of divorce and hubby using my mental health issues to take my kids from me, so better obey. Mm. We love you, Naomi, but no. Okay, that is a victim abuser dichotomy right now, and we get you. Okay, we know where you're at. Why? Here we go. Don't focus in or out. Just focus, please. Thank you, stupid camera. But yeah, we know your situation is complex, and we know it's hard because we've been there. Um, as a child, we're not going to get into that. Yeah, there's not much advice that we can give you, but that's a defeatist victim attitude, girl. And you're better than that, and you're worth more than that. And don't believe everything that he says, okay? Because a lot of them, they'll just say stuff that they'll never do in order to keep you under their control. Um, so, what we would do would be to start exploring your options and document. And if he is taking other abusive actions towards you or to you, get help, please. Go to the police or whatever resources are available where you're at and get out of that bad situation, particularly if he is emotionally or physically abusing you or any of the other permutations. You're worth more. You're a good person. You're intelligent. You're bright, and you're worthwhile. So we're going to get back to the questions because we could ramble on forever about this, but stand your ground, girl. Stand your ground. Okay, it's not fair that he's not supporting you, and yeah, that's about all we can say without really delving into it. We know it's difficult. We know where you're at. But you still got to be true to yourself. I hope you can. We support you 100%, and the folks here in the audience do as well. So sorry for the knee jerk reaction on that. We get it. We're not invalidating you. In fact, the opposite. But realize that you're under a lot of abusive patterning right now, and you need to be aware of that so you can think clearly to make the best decisions for you and for your kids, I guess is what we're getting at. So yeah, but that sucks. We were hoping that would have improved a little for you. Damn. Okay, let's see. Oxymoron referring to the hypnosis. Don't like it at all, but heard it might be helpful for some. 5 is saying hypnosis depends on a lot of trust. Yeah, it sounds like most folks have had the same types of. Yeah, 420 is saying it can be more as it can bring forward things you're not ready for exactly because it's a free association type of a situation. Traumatizing, yes, exactly. 420, exactly. Yeah. As me, hello, good to see you. Stephen LaRoche, how much did we miss? Not a lot. We just got started, so welcome on in. We were just going over a question that Sad Doggo had to ask about hypnosis and how it pertained, what folks thought about it. So we were just catching up on that and giving Naomi some support because she's in a tough situation in her home and whatnot. As well as dealing. So she's having a real rough time. So you guys, I know you're already reaching out with comfort, but if you could just, throw some love her way, that'd be great, and some support. Maybe if any of you have some more direct experience with the type of situation she's in, you can DM or something and give her some support because she's really a wonderful person, and we care about her. So community support. Okay, let's see. Lisa saying hello. Nice to see everyone here. So there's not more safer. Okay. Hey, Circadian Arcan Anarchist. Haven't seen you in a good long while. It's good to see you. Let's see. Sad Dog is saying thank you, everyone. That's fascinating about the research data. That's why I like repetition. Yeah. It's okay. Thinking and Data is always willing to expound on anything that he's ever looked up. Sorry, I'm not terribly tolerant with the others today. It's been rough. We'll get into that in a minute. Let's see. 5-9. Okay, the kids are blending a bit, but I think that's okay for now. We'll try to let them participate as possible. Cloud, no problem. Cloud, just keep an eye on them. We kind of noticed that there were some little creeping out there, but that's cool. We'll let you know if we get into anything. Well, it's obvious when we're getting into heavy stuff, but okay. So let's see. 420 is talking to Naomi, going through similar. Son's partner won't let her see the grandkids because she has bipolar. So I'm sorry, someone is using your mental health to hurt you. Yeah. But they don't speak English, so someone wants to talk to you. Should have mentioned it's not to retrieve memories, it's to get along with a persecutor, said Doggo says about the hypnosis. It might be worth a shot for you. You never know. For us, it didn't work for the reasons that we just never really did it. But let's say Naomi is saying, oh no, he would do it because he has his family and my family behind him. That sucks. I'm sorry, but it's making us angry on your behalf because that's bullshit. Alicia, hi everyone. What did I miss? Like I said, you didn't miss anything. We just basically got started. We neglect that the rest of you undergo a time zone change. So let's see here. As I say, be careful. Yeah, 420 saying, good to see you too. Let's see. Rose is saying, I actually more have the same problem here regarding some littles who don't speak English but want to connect to you all too. Yeah, absolutely. Chris, please remember to breathe. That alien talks. Yeah, it's okay. We'll be breathing, and we're just getting started. We haven't even started talking about our month yet, so we just wanted to get close to you. No, Orchid is very close because she remembers being in lives before. Yeah, that's fine. Like I said, everybody, the littles are welcome, but keep in mind that this live stream is for adults, okay? So we expect you to practice system responsibility. We don't mind them popping out and saying hi, but please be aware, and you long-term folks are, that we do deal with heavy stuff here, and we never know exactly which direction the stream is going to go. So everybody, please keep an eye on your littles, and if things start to get intense, please take corrective action to get them into the safe space. Also, for you new folks, if you have to step away from the stream, that's fine. Participation is not required. Just put us on in the background and listen, or come back and listen to it later. System safety first, system care first. You know how it works. We'll go over the rules a little bit later on, but that's it. So littles, just pay attention to your older brothers and sisters on the inside, okay? We can talk about scary stuff sometimes, okay? So, and sometimes the bigs have to do that, okay? Okay, let's see here. Excuse us. Bye, Naomi. Wish you the best. Okay, so Naomi's already taking off. Bye, everybody. Take care. Okay, self-care, please. God, we hate to see that. It makes us deeply angry because we've been there through the emotional abuse and the sexual abuse and the physical. We know that situation. And her needs are just not being met, and it makes us deeply angry that her family is not being supportive of this. Unfortunately, it may tie into a cultural thing. We don't know. We're not sure. We don't want to, assume too much. But yeah, we really hope that things work out there. Okay, let's see here. Basically chatting. We're going to try to keep up because we've just got a lot to talk about here. But we want to catch up with you guys. Blue Rose is Dutch. Excellent. I like Holland. I always wanted to go just to see it. It looks absolutely beautiful. Stephen LaRoche recently got put on Klonopin, and we were trying to wrap our minds around it. Made Headspace very quiet and almost disconnected from our systems. Anyway, got that way with PAMS. Oh, prescription medications. Okay. We've had a great deal of difficulty finding the right meds that work for us. It's a constant challenge for our nurse practitioners. Although we're finally back to the main one that we've been using, although we are not happy with the clinic that we've been going to for the past couple of years because they have no Reese's for it. The resort, we have no Reese's. Reese's Pieces. That too, they have no resources for us as far as therapy and whatnot goes, and we're already way beyond what the common stuff are. And they don't have any trauma therapists, so we're actually thinking of switching because it's like the last time that we had a nurse practitioner that's not our normal one pop in. She started, it's okay. Well, we can just medicate this away. No, you can't medicate DID away. And we are very particular and very proactive in our meds and whatnot. And if we feel that things are making it worse or dulling us out or making us feel like shit, we will just simply tell them, okay, this didn't work for us. What else you got? And we're kind of at the tail end of, okay, what else have you got? Basically, our med routine is we take our lamotrigine, which we've been on since we first got DX'd. That's the main med that helped us to stabilize and take the edge off, as it were. I can't quite quantify exactly what it did, but we're a lot better on it than we are off of it. And then we have our propranolol, which we take as needed for anxiety, and that's it, other than our heart med and some ibuprofen. We keep it very, very minimal. And that's the approach that we've always taken throughout both our medical and our psychiatric care is let's start with the least impactful thing and then work our way up if we need it. Minimalism is a good thing in medicine. And unfortunately, the doctors, or at least over here in the US, tend to think, okay, well, here's a pill, take this or take that. And the next thing you know, you're on 6 pills, and then you've got 3 pills that counteract the 6 that you take. So now you're taking 9. And it's just, we've never been convinced that that's great for your body. Okay, we're not saying that we're anti-medicine or anti-meds or anything like that. We're not. Okay, meds have their place, definitely, particularly with dissociative conditions and mental health conditions. We are totally pro-med there, okay, but also with responsibility. You need to advocate for yourself with your care team and with your physicians. If something's not working for you, just don't sit back and just, oh, well, they must know best, because sometimes they may not. Second opinions are a thing. Just because you're going to one doctor doesn't mean that you're stuck with them. Same thing, it's like with therapists. A good therapist should take you where you need to go, and you should be compatible. And if it's not, then, you know, there's always another one out there. Extremely overbooked right now, but so yeah, there's our thing on the meds. It's like we're really open about that. Excuse us, we're a little stuffed up because things are pollinating. Okay, let's see here. So yeah, Stephen, that's our thoughts on it. But yeah, we can. We don't like the way that some of them make us feel, and just yeah, we get you. We know where you're coming from. Okay. Also, Dutch. What language? Hope and joy. Definitely been a minute. Wishing you and all the best. Hello. Sending lots of. Yes, we haven't seen you in quite a while. Let's see. Sad Doggo got a back. Can't wait to listen to this whole thing later. Okay, Sad Doggo. Take care. Be safe on the way. Um, we're going to skim here because everybody's basically saying hello and goodbye. German and Dutch isn't. Understand a little, but only if you speak very slowly. Guten Tag, wie geht's? Actually, it's Guten Tag, we know. It's teeny tiny bit of German. Like teeny tiny. Megan has a sleepover with the system tonight. Excellent, Orchid. That's great news. Good for you. I hope you have fun, or we hope you have fun. Sorry, Chris is basically more or less up front right now, so if we slip into you know, well, you don't care, I know. Let's see here. Houndoom, you made it. Yes, you did, indeed. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see. So, everybody saying bye. We had German high school. We're on propranolol for our heart. Never did a thing for our anxiety. Yeah, it's one of those multi-purpose meds. A lot of the psych meds are like that, actually. Okay, yeah, data. We don't want to get into the biochemistry right now. Can we just shelve that, please? Stick a pin in it. Okay, thank you. Okay, yeah, we take it as on an as needed basis. It helps a little, and there are some days like this month where we'll take whatever help we can get. Okay, come on, go back. We're gonna have to lock this into portrait mode. There we go. No, Netflix, I don't care about the top 10 TV shows in the United States. Go away. Note self, go into notifications and turn that off. Okay. Let's see here. 420 saying they're going to go eat and miff the rest. Sending you all witchy hugs, love, and blessing. Take care, 420. Enterprise crew, hello, welcome. Don't think we've seen you about before. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the stream. Hate taking meds, but man, the chronic pain and nightmares are rough. Amen. Amen. We hard mood. We feel you. Dutch in the chat for 20 minutes. Well, your German definitely better than my Dutch. Let's see. Okay, circadian archivist. To be honest, I wouldn't mind a video series on the biochemistry of stuff. We're not qualified. Data may do good research, but we're not qualified for that. However, we might be able to put together a basic 101 Wikipedia Google level type of thing, and whatever that he's ran across, we'll add it to the list of possible episodes. We've got one that's about 2 pages long by this point. It was already a page long when we first started the channel. What, 3? Has it been 3 years already? Wow. 2 years, 3 years? I don't know. What is time? So we will, I mean, we pretty much, we kind of do go into biochemistry, you know, I mean, or at least how it impacts the system, how it works on it in most of our stuff. We tend to prefer, you new folks who who haven't been with us long, we prefer a more science-based approach, and we tend to deal with that in the way that the body reacts rather than, you know, just kind of all the other stuff. I don't know if that makes any sense. We're very scattered today. This goes okay. We got to go now. We got to drive stuff before then. Okay, you have fun there, Orchid. Okay. Tell your older brothers and sisters thank you for stopping in. Okay, you take care now. Let's see. Houndoom, kind of hope I don't need meds. I am on one for no babies, but even that's hard to take, although tiny. It can be tough, Houndoom, but please don't not take them if they're represented. Like I said, look on it as a trial type of a thing, because we were very anti-med before we got DX, just basically for anything. We believed that, oh, well, your body can just best take care of it naturally, and we shouldn't interfere. Yeah, well, turns out we were wrong about that. Yeah, so don't rule it out. Okay, let your health, your care team work with you on that, please. But we do understand where you're coming from. Emerald Star, welcome. Hello. Welcome on in. Let's see. We got 15 of you so far here. Biology. So cool, though. Legit all my writing all my college biology notes all over again. Knowledge is power. Just glad we're here to some extent. It's technically one of our alters' birthdays, and we've never really been around others this time of year. Stephen is saying. Let's see here. Emerald, being anti-med can be a form of self-harm sometimes. Yes, exactly. Circadian pretty much nailed what we wanted to say there. Okay, I think we're about caught up on the chat log so far. There's about 15 of you. There's some new folks in there, so they might not be aware. So real quick before we get into our month, let's go over the rules. And unfortunately, we're just streaming on our phone, because the computer we were using, OBS Studio, the processor went up in smoke and died, but it was a second-hand thing that we resurrected anyway, so no real loss, but we're operating just off of the phone until we get a new podunk processor to slap in there or get things set up on the laptop, which is also old and not that great for streaming, so we're kind of just stuck on the phone right now. But so the rules. Rule number 1, you have the right to your opinion. Rule number 2, you have the right to state your opinion. Rule number 3, you do not have the right to abuse other people with your opinion. Rule number 4, don't talk about politics, religion, or sex unless sex is endemic to the conversation that we're talking about and the subject that we're talking about. Otherwise, just don't. Dinner table rules. And rule number 5, don't troll us. Don't post porn links. We've been around on the internet forever. We do not tolerate trolls. We will just simply ban you, okay, outright, without feeling bad about it whatsoever. So just don't try our patience. Don't try the bullshit. Save yourself and us the time. Those are the rules. Just basically, that's the way we run our channel. That's the way we run our comments section. We do not delete comments or opinions that we even may disagree with, as long as you state it clearly, concisely, and politely, and don't resort to personal attacks, either against us or other viewers. We will leave them up there. We believe in, you know, that's the way a forum works. And on that, our live streams, today it's going to be just a teeny bit different, because we've got a lot of stuff that we know that you guys are want to hear that's been going on with us. But basically, our live streams most of the time are the Greek or classical idea of a forum where everybody gets together and shares their experiences and their tips and their tricks and whatnot. We're more than happy to answer any Q&As that you might have to us directly. But otherwise, it's just basically kind of an open roundtable type of a situation. So those are the rules. Those are the way that things are set up. With that said, let me check the chat log here before we dive into our pile. Um, so yeah, oxymoron saying they're not taking any meds right now, except for some pain management sometimes, because there are new memories with a lot of triggers about meds. Not good. Yeah, I hear you. So sorry that people did that. Let's go to the minute and see his glides. That's right. Tells us stories and takes us on rides. Okay. So it looks like we're caught up there. So we're going to take a sip of tea. So why is the title called? It's so hard to deal with those kind of triggers. Yeah, maybe say happy birthday then. Yeah, absolutely. Happy birthday, Stephen, to whoever's birthday it may be. So why? We've had a month, and to be honest, there's been several times during this past week when we've nearly just flipped on the camera to live stream. But the trouble is that when you've gotten the urge to do it, it's like 1 to 3 in the morning, which for you folks overseas wouldn't, be that bad. But yeah, it's just. But we tend to try to not do that because this is not a drama channel or anything, and it's not one of these where it's like every time that we're feeling bad or we're having a difficult day, we're going to run to our online audience looking for ass pats and sympathy and, oh, you poor thing, and it must be so hard. That's not what we're about. We try to, we're not opposed to doing that when it's, okay, let's just try to express this. We're not afraid about talking about our day-to-day struggles when it serves a purpose to illustrate a point about DID that we all struggle with, if that makes sense. Otherwise, pretty much we kind of keep our tough days to ourselves. We try to present a together, more or less together, face for you guys because that's how we are most of the time. We're pretty fairly well stable, but we do go through our ups and downs. But again, as we said in our McLean, we're not here for performative DID. We're just basically here. So if there is something that pertains that we all go through, yes, then we will cover it. And a lot of the stuff that we've been going through this month, it does pertain. So let's just get in that. Lots of changes. We're in one of those. I don't know about you guys, but our life seems to move in circles. Big circles things will get chaotic and then they'll settle down and it'll be stable and then all of a sudden things will get chaotic again and it's the cycling, the new cycle starts. And right now we're in one of the tail end of those where everything changes. And we don't know about you guys, but we like things nice and stable. We like things, not just so, but that's kind of more or less the way that it is. And from our experience, systems are this way. We're very tied to stability. We like things to be predictable the way that they are because we didn't have any predictability when, we were growing up or being abused so we need that. We crave that now. We crave that stability. And when circumstances beyond our control come along and start to mess with our lives, it knocks us off balance. Now we're speaking about ourselves specifically. We've moved from the general to the specific. And we have had changes. Our longtime viewers and those who've been with us for a while will know that we've been having difficulties with one of our sons, the body's, Chris's eldest, because we have 4. 2 from our first marriage and 2 from hers, but they're the kids. It doesn't really matter. So just for the purposes of referring to, but this is the one that we've talked about. And actually, I think it was 1 year we put up the Is This Pride because he had just graduated and we were feeling, pride and he did it and everything. And happy parent. Well, in the year since, things have just went to hell. Those of you, like I said, we've talked about this before, so you're pretty much well familiar with it. But the TLDR of it is that he's a full-blown narcissist, a raging narcissist, and it took us a long time to actually see that. Our lovely wife had his number way before we did, but, got those rose-colored glasses on for your kids to a certain point, and also we were dealing with a lot of issues ourselves, so it was one of these things. We have tried very hard to look back over our course of time in our life and his life growing up and tried to find that one moment when things went awry, but we can't quite figure out. We don't think that there is one. But rather than getting out and getting going, he's basically he's never had to really suffer the consequences of his action on his own. There's always been something or someone there to pull his ass out of the fire, and he has pushed us to the wall and beyond the wall. Um, Basically, our rules were for all of the kids in the house. After you graduate high school, you need to either be working or going to school. As long as you are working and going to school and or contributing to actually work or school is a requirement, and also contributing to the house in some minimal way, shape, or form, which in his case was, well, no, we're jumping ahead of ourselves. Then you'll always have a home here. Or we're not going to throw you out the minute that you turn 18 the way that some parents do. But how to express this without really going into too much detail? He had our late wife's mother spoiled him basically rotten. And was always there to pick it up. And Nana was always there to take care of this, that, and the other thing. You're just being too hard on the kid. So every time that Chris, actually Bootstraps, would try to induce some discipline into the situation, all of our efforts would be immediately undone because there was no consistency. So this taught him that he could weasel his way out of just about anything, and that there wouldn't be any consequences, or if there were, it would be minimized, or there wouldn't be that much. Just not the precedent we were trying to set. So 3 days after that live stream, 3 days after he graduated, without notifying us, he just suddenly moved over to Nana's while we were asleep. Didn't even bother to wake us up to say goodbye. Just boop, bye, gone now. Gonna go over to Nana's where she can give us everything we want, and life will just be peachy hunky dory. Well, it turns out it wasn't as peachy hunky dory as he thought. We warned him beforehand. She's a far-right religious nut, dyed in the wool. So we had warned him, if you go over there, you're going to have to become what she wants you to be. Well, okay. TLDR, it blew up. He got angry and actually shoved her to the floor, and then calls us. We wish to hell that she had called the cops and gotten him arrested. That's what should have been done. But instead it was one of these, you were right, can you come and get me? I just can't, she won't let me be here anymore. Well, yeah, you pushed her to the ground, you moron. He has issues as well, and he should be in therapy, and he should be on his meds, but you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And when we brought him back home after abandoning his family and abandoning us, and yes, we personally, me, Chris, have an issue. That was a hardcore cold cut that he couldn't even wake us up to say goodbye. He just simply jumped ship for the greener pastures. Bye. But when we took him back, the wife and I took him back in. Before we did, we sat down. It's like, okay, do we really want to do this? Okay, well, we don't want to throw him out on the street, so let's sit down. And there were 13 rules in a contract that he had to agree to. Certain, basic things like keeping your room clean, personal hygiene, bathe every day, wash your clothes, just stuff that should be done anyway. These are normal, basic things that every human being on the face of the earth should know how to do, for God's sakes. And again, just get a job, keep it down, contribute to the household in some way, shape, or form. He broke every single damn last one of them, and was just using us, and it got to the point, and it was always we told him, we have DID. If there are going to be people brought in the house, we need to know about it a couple days in advance so that we can prepare ourselves. You can't just bring people into the house at the drop of a hat, or you are going to trigger us. What if there's a little out, and all of a sudden somebody just comes waltzing into the house that we don't know? Well, this actually happened. He brought somebody into the house one day. We wake up, we come out, and we hear voices in the other room, and here's this friend that we've never met before, never laid eyes on this person, don't know who the hell they are, and he's in there, and let's just say that one thing led to another, and there was a large confrontation. And that was the day when we were like, okay, you are bootstraps got pissed, and it's like, okay, you are putting the system at risk. You've shown that you don't care about us, you don't care about the contract, you will push us as far as you possibly can, and now you are endangering us. But in a moment of mercy, and God only knows why, basically because we didn't want to throw our son out onto the street, bootstraps, and we have a small. It's not an RV. It's like a pop-up type of a trailer camper type thing, but a little more elaborate, somewhere between an RV and a pop-up camper. It's called a high-low for those of you who are really curious. It's actually kind of cool because the top part of it sinks down and then raises up automatically. It's pretty cool. But anyway, it's been sitting in the yard, and we were like, okay, you have to be out of the house, but you can go live in that. So I mean, it's small, but it has all the amenities there if you know how to run them and you know how to take care of them. So he went out there, and we gave him food, and he would get a job, and then he would lose it in 3 days. He'd go for 2, and then he'd lose it because he would constantly, chronically be late. He couldn't get his butt up and get to work on time. And there was always this excuse and that excuse and another excuse, and everything always has to be about him. Any family gathering, any dinner, it's like a constant litany of, oh, well, I'm doing this, and it's just on and on and on. And it finally hit the point where it's like, okay, you need to go out and live. You can go out and live there. But, you're going to pay $200 rent a month, which is cheap as shit for those of you who knows, considering it includes power, water, and internet. Okay. Sweet deal. But he couldn't even do that. It's like we came in there to do, I forget what it was, to check on something, and we open it up, and the place just smells like a sewer because he hadn't been maintaining the septic tank with the deodorizer that we had done. And any of you who have used an outdoor toilet, you know what that smells like. And it was filled with trash from floor to ceiling, stuff stacked everywhere, dirty dishes in the sink, food on the floor, food on the bed underneath where he sleeps. I mean, the bedding hadn't been washed in ages, stacks of dirty clothes just everywhere. And we're dealing with a space that's maybe 12 by 16, so not terribly large. Like I said, cozy mini home type of a thing. Very nice, very cozy, very minimalist. If you are willing to do that and actually are cleanly. But I mean, we would literally we found a package of rotting sliced turkey meat underneath where he was sleeping, food on the floor, ants everywhere, rodent droppings, and Bootstraps just absolutely freaked. And so this has been a continuing thing. This was the way that he kept his room in the house. If we weren't on him constantly. And the studio where we're sitting right now was his room, and it took us days to get this place, and it was literally months before the smell went away after vacuuming and shampooing the carpet like 4 or 5 times. Our wife won't even sit on the carpet in here, even knowing that it's clean now. But he's just continued this same thing. And the real icing, the real cream on the cake, and the final straw that broke the camel's back was we had told him, okay, the sockets in here, you are hooked up to the house power because we ran an extension cord, because the main power for the actual trailer itself, it requires a 30 amp breaker. And the highest that we've got are 20. So we kind of had to, so we told him you can only plug in so many appliances to this, because if you overdraw, it might start a fire. And we were on him about this and about that. And what happened was, well, we went in for another surprise inspection, found the same thing, except this time he had a space heater up on the counter in amongst all the piles of trash where it just simply could have lit shit on fire. So we just, again, we went over it. You can't do this. This is dangerous. And well, one day overnight, I come out and I smell smoke. I smell the sharp electrical tang. I come out and I look, and where I've got it plugged in, the outlet has turned black. The outlet, the extension cord had literally melted to the outlet because he had kept plugging things in and had overdrawn the circuit. And it was melted on where it connected into the trailer The cord literally melted together. We had to pry it apart with pliers. We had to literally pry it off of the socket in the wall. We had to replace the whole receptacle, as a matter of fact. And we just lost it because he could have burned us all. And excuse me, I have a cat problem. Come in if you're going to, but do not yowl or I will squirt you with a squirt bottle. I don't like doing that, but you have just been absolutely relentless. Yes, you. No, you're not going out. It's too hot. Give it up. So finding that he had, through willful ignorance and just simply not bothering to listen to us, and we had been over this 3, 4, 5, 6 times trying to explain how dangerous this was. And he nearly burned us all to death. He nearly burned himself all to death. He nearly burned us all to death. It could have taken the trailer, and if the trailer had went, because it's right up against, where the wall was in order to connect into the sewer, if that had went up, the house would have went as well. And it killed us all. And that was the final straw. And that's when we told him, okay, you have this amount of time. We gave him until May. He had like 3-4 months, in order to set this up, probably a little bit longer, in order to, get out. But we were like, okay, this is it. May 1st, you're out. We can't do this anymore. You are endangering our lives. And he's like, well, I have myself to blame. Yeah, you do. It's one of these where it's like, okay, you're an adult now. Out. Well, May rolled around, and he had no money put aside. He had nothing put aside. There was no place for him. Well, I guess I've just resigned myself that I'm just going to have to end up on the street. Okay, you see the narcissism right there? You see the guilt trip right there? That's classic. And so May rolled around, and he wasn't ready. So the wife and I talked, and it's like, okay, we can give you one other month, but you need to come up with something. Well, TLDR, on a very long story, he'll be moving to, where the hell was it? Maryland, from where we're at. And the way that he's getting there is apparently one of his friends online, a girl who has a boyfriend, somehow managed to talk boyfriend into letting our son come out to live with them in their garage or something. And anyway, we're not sure. We don't really care how he got the money to get out there. Apparently he was saving for the plane ticket, which has been bought and everything. So this isn't just piss in the wind. He'll be leaving at noon on the 31st because we told him June 1st you have to be gone. And this has been hard. Okay, this has been hard on us, on the system, because as a father, I feel it's like, okay, where did I fail? Where did I fail? Where did I go wrong? Like we were just talking about. And coming to realize that this is not on us. This is on him now. He has to literally have his back to the wall before he'll do anything. But it came down to the point where he was abusing us. He was putting our lives at risk. And no matter how much you want to be a good dad and how much the mental image in here, this was not supposed to happen this way. This was never supposed to happen. I was never supposed to have to deal with this kind of thing with my son. Basic things. Sorry, this is anger coming out now. So this has been eating at us because it's one of these where it's like we have tried everything, and turned every cheek that we could and done everything that we could and give him every chance. But eventually enough has to be enough. And when your son nearly burns your house down, nearly burns himself to death and your entire family to death because of willful stupidity and ignorance, where you have to draw the line someplace, but it's still the end. So knowing that he is moving to another state and that we may never see him again, that he could very well end up on the streets of Baltimore if he uses up his friends, because he's done this online. We won't go into that. but he's I don't want to say extorted, but he has narcissistically manipulated people to give him things and money that just beggar the imagination. So we've been dealing with that and knowing that he'll be leaving. We may not see him again. This is not the way that we wanted it to end. This is not the way that we wanted it to go. But what are we going to do? And we have told him, and we chose not to serve. We knew it was not for us. But we have told him, uh, you really need to look into the joining the military, because they will give you the skills, the training, the education, and the discipline that you need to make something out of your life, basically. You need to take responsibility for yourself. And we think that this is basically, it's one of these where it's like, this is kind of like his last hope. We really hope that he does. We can't make him. And we have absolutely nothing but respect for those people, soldiers, men and women who are willing to put themselves on their line for the safety and freedoms of their family and their countrymen. Nothing but respect. It was not the life for us, particularly since our stepfather, our main abuser, he was in the military, so we have a lot of negative connotations with that, and some that we're actually just starting to peel back. But in this case, it would be the best thing for him, and we hope that he does. But we have been dealing with that, and it has been very hard on us. Very hard, because some of our feelings range from, oh, give him another chance, to hell no, we've already given him every chance in the world, to, it's just back and forth inside. And I'm caught in the middle, and my heart is being ripped out of my chest because of this. And it's not fun. And to throw all of this change even further, our daughter graduated on Thursday. Straight A's, went through. She's got a college scholarship to one of the local colleges, full ride. She's worked her ass off. We are so incredibly proud of her. But it's one of these, again, where one cycle is ending and another is beginning, our little girl. And don't get us wrong, we've never been one of these dads where it's like, oh, you're my little baby girl, you're never going to grow up. We're way more practical than that. I mean, yeah, there's a certain part of your heart. She's always going to be your little girl. You're always going to be there for her. Or at least do your damnedest. Do everything that your abusers didn't do. Provide a warm, loving, stable environment and supportive environment. This is the young lady that previously on our live stream, when bigotry comes knocking, she now has a boyfriend, and they've been together for quite a while. He's a very nice young man, because the other relationship that she was in at the time went. But they're very good for each other. It's a very positive relationship. They've kept it together so far, so we'll see how it goes. We hope it works out for her. But, statistically, relationships that you develop in high school just don't last. But who knows? Maybe she'll be the exception to the rule. But so there's that cycle of change that's coming out, because now she's no longer, that we're done. There's no more in high school. We're done with that part. So yeah, I mean, we're really proud of. So on one hand, we've got ultimate hell, and the other hand, we've got bright, powerful young person seizing her life and setting out on that road, and she knows where she's going, and she knows what she wants. She wants to go into theater and theater major, and she's got talent. She's good. She can do it. But she's been working her heart out. I mean, we've been cautioned her, please have a backup plan just in case this doesn't, work out, because, theater, it's like, it's very competitive. It's like, do you know what you're getting into here? And she's like, yeah, and she's going for it. So, we're not going to, try to put her into a box or anything, or say, well, you need to do this, because we're not that type of parent. But it's change. It's that cycle of change. So we've had all these cycles of changes and this stress going at the same time. And to top all of this off, we've mentioned this briefly in passing. We have a new alter that has been appearing, another one of us, and she is the female counterpart to John. And we don't know why we didn't figure this out beforehand, because we had the male and the female created for the same purposes. I mean, we had Mimi and Jack, and John and Jack, good and bad, so why wouldn't there be a good girl to go along with Mimi, the bad girl? But that's what Julie is. and she's a little more communicative than John is. I know that she's at least aware of our existence, where he is not. But she's been pushing some. We've had a few flashbacks and some trauma images coming out, and it's just a continuation of the weekend that we've talked about on. And if you saw our recent ones with John, the police may have some more, and the first part of the food series, you know what he went through, and you know what we went through. And so there's been Julie kind of banging on the gates going on. So it has been a month, and just this past week has just tapped us out. We have nothing left, and it's hard and it's tiring, and we have been spinning as a result. We are doing our best to deal with this, but it's hard. It's particularly hard slogging through every day because the tension starts to build up right about in here, and we've talked about this. We basically the night with DID, where we're just wandering around, flitting from thing to thing, literally wearing holes in the floor, going back and forth, and trying to wear ourselves out. We have been in that every night for like the past 3 weeks. And it just keeps getting worse, and it keeps getting worse, and it keeps getting worse the closer that we get to when he's leaving, that 31st deadline. And we can't stop it, and we've been using all of our tools, but there's only so much that you can do. And that's why we're talking about this, because we know that you guys deal with this type of a thing, and that this is very common for systems, and that it is a trauma reaction. And we try to maintain an equilibrium, but sometimes it is just so hard. It is so hard just to keep going every day and trying to fill those empty hours and those. I mean, we're down to the point where, like, literally, okay, what do we want to do for the next 5 minutes? And Data will sit down and practice his piano and practice the piece that he's been working on so hard. And, he's just been playing this one piece over and over and over and over again. And man, I get it, classical music, you got to practice it to get it right. But he's trying to get this one particularly difficult passage down into muscle memory, and he's almost got it. But still, it's just there's 5 minutes there, and then it's like, okay, now what do we do for the next 5 minutes? And the whole day is going like this, and it's like we're trying to do different things and still keep up on the housework and all the stuff that we normally do. And picking up some of the projects that we've set aside, because one alter would start them and then we'd switch out and stuff would sit for years. It's like we've got this massive model of the original Star Trek Enterprise that we have been building from scratch out of cardboard and paper for probably the past 10 years. And it's huge. I mean, it is huge. The thing's going to be nearly 6 feet long when it's all done. I mean, just the saucer dish is literally 4.5 feet wide. We've been building the whole thing. We'll maybe do some shots and show it to you on our Instagram or something. So we've been working on that, and we're trying desperately to get ourselves onto a pattern of, okay, this is our schedule where, okay, this is what we do. This hour, Rosemary cleans. This hour, we do Qigong, our Tai Chi type relaxation things. Data, you can practice for this X amount of time. And we're trying to get into this because we work best with a structured schedule, but it's been very hard, and it's been something that we've been trying to work on. And in the middle of all of this, we've been dealing with all of this and trying to work on this, and of course, just the normal everyday stuff. And so we have just been under an inordinate amount of stress this month. It's been a very rough month, which is one of the reasons why I think we got 2 episodes out. We're still chewing over whether or not to do part 3 of the food and DID, because basically what we're up against is talking about the actual basic eating conditions, the anorexia and bulimia. And we have not directly, we have our own eating issues, but we have never been anorexic or bulimic. Fortunately, we haven't suffered from those, but we do know that it is very prevalent out there, and it's a very complicated thing, and we do not want to give bad advice. We are not qualified to talk about that in any kind of like an educational manner, just short of giving you the basic, Wikipedia, Google 101 facts. In part two, we really accomplished what we were getting at, which is to show how abusers will use food as a control measure, which was basically the whole point of the series. So if we do the part three, it's just going to be very basic because eating disorders are very complex. And I'm sure you guys, some of you out there probably have way more experience in it than we do. And this is, we try very hard to not overreach ourselves with this. And not talk about stuff that we're not qualified to, because we are not medical professionals. We're mental health patients here. We're just sharing the knowledge and the research that we've been given by the professionals and what data has, dug up under their guidance and his own research. But we source all of our stuff to make sure that it's accurate. And when we get that squiggly feeling that we're treading into territory that we're not qualified to talk about, we don't want to do it. So we're more or less going to be saying, okay, here's what if we decide to do the part three, here are the basics. Here's a lot of different links for resources and whatnot. Go there because they can help you. We cannot. We're trying to be responsible about that kind of thing. So that's where we're at on that. Again, we may not produce it at all. If we do, it's just going to be very general type of information. So no, I've had enough of you yowling. I don't know if you can hear him or not. The temperature has changed here, and he likes to go out during the morning and chase rabbits or birds or whatever, but it's gotten too hot for a responsible pet owner to let their pet outside. So we've been, okay, we will go out for a walk after it cools down, after the sun goes down. Well, he won't accept this. So he has been meowing and meowing and meowing and meowing and howling and howling and howling for days now. And it's gotten to the point where it's like, okay, I'm going to start squirting you if you don't be quiet. Because we would never strike or hit an animal in any way, shape, or form. But a squirt bottle is a great way to discipline a cat. So that's why all aboard the struggle bus. It's been a rough month. And we have not went into crisis. We're going to throw in that word yet. But we have been very close. Straight up, we've been very close. At least a handful of times over the past month. And we know that our wife has been concerned about us, and our daughter, who just graduated, has been concerned. But it's been a struggle. And we, let's see, was it last week? We got so overwhelmed that we had to go into the safe space in our closet. For those of you who are not aware or haven't watched the content yet, in our closet, we were driven by Christopher, our youngest, in active and passive influence there to make a safe space in the closet. Because we went and hid in the closet after several of our sexual assaults, or rather he did. And so that was actually one of the first instances of active influence that we ever experienced, because we never thought that a little could take direct control as forcefully as he did. We literally just ripped apart the closet to make the safe space. We've got some old couch cushions in there where he can go, or we can go, and just be enclosed within ourselves. It's like, okay, because we're in a room within a room within the house, so it's one of these box in a box in a box type things. But there are times when that's the only way that we can feel safe, and the only way that we can get ourselves and our reactions back under control is to be in there. And we were in there the other day when our wife came home, and she's like knocking on the door gently. It's like, can I come in? Are you okay? And it's like, not really okay. We just had to come in here because we needed to re-ground/center ourselves, because we woke up that day without a center or a ground. We were just all over the place and could not center, and we had to go out and went out to the store, and things just snowballed. And we came home, and we were just so high-strung that we were just spinning off. And fortunately now we can feel when we're spinning off. We can feel when those things start to kick in, and we're able to stop and pull ourselves back. So yeah, we have made progress. We're making progress. We're learning to recognize and to abort those patterns, head them off, but we still feel them very much, and all the effects from them. And so yeah, that's what we have been dealing with this month. And it's been rough, and it's not over with yet. It won't be over until the 31st when he's gone. And even after that, because Bootstrap, we know we haven't been in the trailer in a month or two because we know what we're going to find. Bootstraps knows what Chris, haven't been able to even talk to my son in almost a year because he pushed me beyond. I can't deal with him anymore. And Bootstraps it's like, okay, I'll deal with him now. So Bootstraps has been dealing with him. And Bootstraps is not somebody to around with, okay? He's very firm and he's very much like our grandfather. And our grandfather was a great guy. He's basically who we took our male role model from because he was the only one that actually didn't fucking abuse us or rape us. So Boots has been dealing with him, and it's one of these where it's like our son has never, called us sir. We never demanded that of him, but oh boy, he calls Bootstraps sir because he would get off onto one of his narcissistic little rants, and Bootstraps would just say, "Shut up, shut your mouth, and stop talking. Now you're going to sit there and you're going to listen to what your mother and I have to say." And it's one of these where it's like when Boots gets like that, okay, yeah, it's like he would never be physically violent to another person. We're not like that because abuse victims. But yeah, he can get really intense and can use words like weapons, like whip crack type of a thing. Angry dad is angry. But he's always been able to do more with disapproval than any amount of yelling or anything like that. It's like our daughter who just graduated. All it takes is a whiff of our disapproval that she might have, done something wrong, and she'll be like, "Oh, well, I'm not." She'll know. But she's also overly sensitive in that way. So unfortunately, some of our bad patterning rubbed off before we knew what we were and were able to correct it. Anyway, we're rambling. We know. But we also know that after the 31st, it's going to take us at least a week, 2 weeks, possibly the entire month, realistically, before we finally settle into the new pattern and adjust ourselves to the fact that we may never see our son again. That he's free, that he's an adult now, that he has to take care of his own things, that there's nothing that we can do, that we've done everything that we can do in this situation, and then some on top of it. We don't want to do this. We didn't want it to end this way, but we just can't. It's a danger to us and our family and the system. And that's where we had to draw the line. Didn't like it, don't like it, but got to set those boundaries and keep them no matter what. Otherwise, you're not doing them any favors in the long run. So that's where we're at. That's when we've seen a ton of chat bubbles go by. So yeah, we've been on board the struggle bus, and we're probably going to be struggling for the next couple of weeks. So that may affect our content if we're going to at least have another little stories for the littles out there within the next couple weeks, seeing how things shake out. So please be patient with us. As far as the content goes, we're going to do our best, but you guys know that we don't push ourselves overly that way. We're very well aware of, bleeding ourselves for YouTube, as it were, like other creators will do. And we try very hard not to do that and to look after ourselves first. But we do feel a certain responsibility to you guys. So yeah, that's been our month. So we're going to go ahead and get to your comments here. We've got quite a backlog here, so just bear with us as we go back. Chocho, please stop. Please stop yelling. Please stop. I love you, but man, you have driven me to the point of distraction. Stop! Please stop. Okay? I love you. You're fuzzy. You're a great cat when you're not yowling your head off. No, you're not. You're not going to go out. It's too hot. Okay? It's too hot. I would be irresponsible pet owner if I let you outside. I'm not going to do it. No. You want to lay down there and purr or whatnot? You want to even come up onto my lap and purr? That's fine, but just stop yowling, okay? You're like a barking dog at this point. Sorry. Sometimes kitties are not all that cute. All right, so we're going to backtrack here quite a way. So thank you for putting up with us for our rant. Feel free to ask questions as we're catching up here. Okay, let's see here. Yes, I love you. Let's see. So we're back to okay. Stephen LaRoche is asking about: do any systems here have any experience with psilocybin therapy for the PTSD treatment? That's actually something that we would like to try out. Because just to be dead straight up, in our we spent a lot of our teens, is probably the closest that we've come to getting into that trap of drug use slash drug abuse. But we did psychedelics more than once, and we did mushrooms more than once with psilocybin, and actually it helped to center us back then. Um, so we're not surprised. This is actually something that Data's been looking into. The clinics around. Yes, come on up here and lay down. Come on, be a good kitty, okay? So that's something that we've actually been looking into. We would like to try, but our clinic does not do that yet, and our nurse practitioner is like, she's kind of like really old school about those kind of things. So I don't think she's going to be too open to that kind of thing. Um, but from what we've read, it actually does a great deal of good and can really help for those with PTSD and CPTSD symptoms. So, yeah, we've been interested in it. If we ever manage to do that, we'll shedding cat. We will do a thing on it. But no direct experience in a therapeutic environment. God, man, you are shedding like crazy. Um, but yeah, something that we've been interested in. So if anybody else has responded with that, we'd definitely be interested. Let's see. Oxy is saying we don't, but I've been thinking about it for some time now. Still not sure about it. Think it might be quite dangerous, but also perhaps beneficial. As far as the actual drug part, the psilocybin goes, it's naturally occurring. It's not synthetic, and it doesn't have any of the addiction drawbacks that the harder drugs and whatnot, may have. So we do know that biochemically, it's actually fairly safe. Been used for thousands of years across various cultures. Much less dangerous than prescription meds, but anyway. Let's see here. So yeah, that's our thoughts on that. Blue Rose, stable is good. Change can be very scary. Yes. Oxy also like to be nice and stable, but they aren't for us now too. Yeah, unfortunately, we feel you. Steven's saying about the psilocybin, have trepidation about, and our psych was trying to find systems who have tried it. Yeah, I wish I could tell you that we had under the therapeutic setting. It's been literally decades. Yeah, 5 Pieces of 9, they're saying we tried ketamine under prescription with the counselor president, and it was curbed, reduced because the protectioners were blending and not allowing full effect. Yet it thankfully rescued, removed the depression that Carrie endured daily. So a net positive for you guys there, definitely. Emerald is saying psilocybin is wonderful, but you need to be ready for everything your mind opens up. Those through psilocybin, I learned about my childhood trauma and started my journey of learning about trauma. Let's see. 5 Pieces of 9 saying it's solely their experience. We're going to skim just a little bit. Talking about the risk versus benefit, what doctors do all the time. Yeah. Not willing to take the risk at the moment. Yeah, never proceed with anything that you're not comfortable with doing. Hope and Joy, sounds like you have identified that there is a problem, that there should be consequences. Boundaries are so important, even with our children. It's about respect. Yeah, and he has none for us, or for the system, or for his siblings, or anything out. It's all about him. He's a classic narcissist, and we finally cut off his supply. Now, to his credit, when his back was finally put against the wall, and we stopped giving him what food reserves I had built up, because I had built up a stock. Just it's a good idea to have 2-3 months of food on hand just in case. Well, I had given him 90% of that just to keep him fed, because he couldn't keep down a job. Well, for the past 6 months or so, he actually has kept down a steady job. So, yay, but he would only do that when his back was to the absolute wall. But anyway, we've cut off his narcissistic supply, and I've done more than enough on that. I fear someone here could take advantage of the lower guards. Think we have to work on some other things first. Yeah. Oxy, Chris, sorry you're going through this. Thank you, Oxy. Talking more about the psilocybin and any possible effects. Hound Doom is saying no matter what any parents do, there will always be that one to be different in a good or bad way. Yeah, it seems like it. And let's see, totally understand. Talking back and forth, this is great. Enterprise crew dealt with similar ugly situations with family recently. Sucks to see the effects of generational trauma and mental illness of people that you love who won't take responsibility to change. Yes. Hope and joy, really frustrating that your son did not respect your safety, the safety of your entire family. Yeah, just that was the breaking point. Let's see. 5 pieces of 9 iCloud. I'm rewiring the unfinished basement, so we hired a general contractor to finish. He hung the sheetrock drywall to appear to be getting it done. I'm sorry. He hung the two. Okay, got it. Yeah. Well, yeah. Home improvement. We've done quite a bit of it. Well, that's Bootstraps' territory. He's the dude that does that. This is painful to hear. I'm so sorry. It's okay. And like we said, guys, we're not doing this for your sympathy or anything. We're just saying it because this is what we're going through, and we know that others go through this. So maybe it's pertinent. And plus, maybe it'll make you guys feel not so alone who are dealing with these kind of things. Supporting each other. Let's see, asked where the wiring circuits were, and he had all rooms on one circuit, so it took down a lot of sheetrock, and I'm rewiring one of the new plugs showed evidence of arcing. So rewiring, yeah. Oxymoron, I think you're being a good dad by letting him face the consequences of his actions. Thank you. We sincerely hope that at some point in the future he will come to us and say, I'm so sorry. You were right. I needed that, and thank you for doing that. Of course, the chances of that actually happening are, snowball's chance in hell, but we can dream, right? Yeah. It's okay. Pia, hello. You crept in while we weren't paying attention. Sorry this is happening to your family. Agree with Oxy, though. Thank you, guys. Emerald Star, kids are so hard. I have 4 kids. We are having a hard time with our daughter who is 18. She's currently not talking to us. Let's see, 5 pieces of 9. Military will teach respect every single time without error. Or the on that will not respect superiors will be removed from service before boot is over. Yeah, boot will either make you or break you. I warned you. I'm just going to shut that door because I'm sure you guys can probably hear him. I love my cats, I love my animals, but I cannot deal with that constant yelling. Squirt bottle. Now let's see, hoping to hell yes, congratulations to you and your daughter, such an amazing achievement. Yeah, she is the balance of parenthood. Yeah, exactly. Hell on one hand, and it's like, our wife and I are like, fist bump, but yeah, and that's another thing to be at the end of the long parenting journey. So we've got all of these cycles that are wrapping up at the same time and new ones beginning. And of course, you've got the unsurety of the new ones. Sorry, we're picking cat hair out of our eyebrows here. So yeah, it's just been a perfect storm of shit for us this month. Tay, welcome. Don't think we've seen you around before. If not, please forgive us. Let's see, Enterprise crew, you're doing the most loving thing left to do, but speaking from personal experience, that inner conflict is hell right there with you, man. Thank you, Enterprise crew. This is probably the toughest damn thing we've ever had to do as a father. And it has not been an easy ride in any way, shape, or form. Just our own diagnosis ripped the family apart. In ways that we've only now just really kind of recovered from in some areas. This is one of these things that we've alluded to in several things, but we're just not ready to talk about it yet. It is pertinent to DID and the way that a diagnosis can affect your family, but there has been so much to untangle, and we're almost we're over 2 years from when this actually happened, but still it's painful on a lot of different levels for a lot of different people, so we need to be respectful of that. So yeah, there's that. But thank you, we appreciate the support. Let's see, Hound Doom, you are doing so well, guys. Things will get better. Thank you. Blue Rose, you're appreciated, even though we may forget to say so. Yeah, Blue Rose is great. Let's see. Hope and Joy, have you thought about doing some visual mapping, identifying what is bothering you and what your triggers are, and break them down by using visual journaling and breathing, deep breathing? Yeah, we do the breathing exercises. As far as identifying what's bothering us and what our triggers are, we've never really had that problem because we're really well aware of them. What we haven't been aware of is our reactionary patterns and the reason why we react to things the way that we do. And unfortunately, it all comes back to the trauma. So after over 50 years of existence on this planet, we are literally having to relearn everything all over again. We are trying to learn how to be happy, just to simply feel the basic emotion of happiness. This is something new to us. I mean, we've had brief fleeting moments before, but it was always something, oh, what's that? No, well, we don't dare trust this. Because something bad always happens. I mean, we are literally learning how to be happy, just on a simple childlike level, something that NTs take utterly for granted. How to feel joy in something, or happiness or in something, how to set a boundary, how to say no. That's a hard one. So we are continuing to work. We will continue to work because we don't have any other choice. But that's also, we're just not constitutionally arranged that way. We don't give up. Not permanently. Because if you give up, they win. And we will not let them break us. We survived everything to this point. We didn't even know what we survived, but we knew deep down inside in the pit of our soul that we can't, yeah. Stephen Lewis, we've been going through a lot of system upheaval over the past few months as well. We empathize, yeah. It's rough. Hope and joy, it's one of the hardest things we do as being a parent, and then no matter how your child does difficult things, always hard to give, it's time, yeah, exactly. And we're not the clingy, oh, my little babies or anything. We've always been very supportive, and it's like, okay, this is how things really are. And we're not going to be one of those clingy, but it would have been nice if he could have made things easier. Chris, I feel you. I do very much want to send you some hugs. We'll accept all the virtual hugs. Thank you, guys. Little cat meows are adorable, though. If you have had to hear him over the past week not shutting up throughout the entire day, you would not think they were so cute anymore. Yes, meow, 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 meow. Let's see. Emerald Star, because of our stress of our adult child, we've been crying and very depressed. It has made some parts go quiet. Just don't want to be around with all the stress, and this is causing us trauma. Yes, we feel you, Emerald Star. Same. Let's see. 5 pieces of 9, not having any family can cause a person to feel alone. As in our teens, our parent paid other families to have us stay at the other family's home for months at a time. That's odd. No one to call if we get in trouble. Our counselor is in our case of emergency contact. That is aloneness, that yet we do the best that we can with what we have. Yeah, we're in the same boat. Since we lost our therapist over 2 years ago, we don't have anybody to call to call back on them like that. We're out on a limb. Shit got tough, and she left because she was getting too personally involved and then started to lose that, professional detachment. And we understand where she's coming from on that and have to support that decision, but it doesn't mean we're happy about it. And there's several of us that are extremely angry about it even now. Me. But yeah, we get that your ass is hanging out there in the wind feeling. Totally do. Let's see, Chris Blue Rose, we agree with the others here. From a personal note, our brother was a lot like your son, and being out on his own helped him grow. We hope so. God, we hope so. Circadian Anarchist, considering the situation, the fact that you're keeping it together without going into crisis is really something. Take some time to recognize that. Thank you, Circadian. We're trying. It's been really touch and go this past week. But like I say, at least now we are able to recognize when we're spinning. And we're able to then apply the DBT. It may not help beyond that 5-minute increment thing, but at least we're taking that 5 minutes at a time. So yeah, But thank you. Thank you, guys. We lived our family. They're still around, but it always and still feels like they were not our family and we were alone in this group of people. Yeah, the what planet am I actually from? Because I don't fit in with this particular planet. Lord. Stephen LaRoche, quiet, sharp tongue. Oh, yeah. Speaking about bootstraps. Yeah. Yeah, our grandfather was that way. It was one of these where it's like he didn't say much, but when he did open his mouth to say something, it was worth listening to. And yeah, he was a good man. Wish he was still around. Let's see. 5 9. Your son may call you or visit you in the future and say thank you. That is a possibility. We hope so. Stephen LaRoche, thank you for the video on grounding box. You're welcome. Absolutely. We wish that we could take credit for the whole grounding box idea thing, but we can't. We first learned of that from a video by Multiplicity and me. Jess had done a video on that when they were still producing content before they moved on and really kind of, I don't want to say hit the end of their journey, but achieved, the level that they were looking for and moved on. I think they're working in the mental health field now. Real success story there. They something to look up to for sure. But you're welcome. We did the grounding box. It was a big help to us. Still is a big help, but particularly early on when we would do the trauma therapy sessions and go into flashbacks, we can't talk. Brain shuts off. Connection goes bye bye. For a variety of different reasons. So one of the things, like you may have seen in because we actually took a video of our grounding box there. We made a series of pre-made index cards with things like need to ground, don't know who's up front, all our various names on the card, so that we could at least communicate to those around us when we can't, because the brain and the speech center they just disconnect past a certain point. We will start to stutter when we really spin and start to get out of control and get overwhelmed. We will start to stutter. That's John. He stutters really bad. Yeah, shh, quiet. That's not pertinent right now. And then immediately after the stuttering, our goes bye bye. We literally can't talk. It's words are there, but nothing comes out. The brain just cannot. So yeah, grounding box definitely helped. So Stephen, glad that helped. Or is it Stefan? Stephen? We're going to say Stephen. Let us know either way. Thank you for the video on the grounding box. So you're helpful, but no, Circadian, don't support him. Enterprise crew, take care of yourselves first. Chris, yeah, we do, but the meows are adorable. Like I said, if you had to listen to them, you wouldn't think so. Let's see. Content, we've been remodeling our new home, and that has to be first. Yeah, we hear you. Don't worry about that, Five. We just wanted to know that you were still out there because we knew that you had moved, because you had mentioned that on the live stream, and we know how hard that is, particularly just for regular folks, but particularly for a system. But we hadn't heard anything from you, and when you didn't show up on the stream, not that you're required to, we just got a little concerned because we worry about you guys. We actually do care. Believe it or not, it's not just fake parasocial. Is that what they call it? Parasocial relationships. Anyway, I mean, you guys have been one of our followers for years now, so it's like we get to know you a little bit. We do care about you guys. So when you don't show up, we worry a little bit. It's like Starry Girl. Where is she? What's going on? Starry Girl, reach out, girl. Let us know that you're still out there and how things are going. Please update us all, because we're sure we're not the only one here. Let's see here, Oxy. But yeah, Five. Don't worry about getting your content out. We just wanted to know that you were okay. Okay, and now that we know that, that's cool. And thanks for taking time out to come here today. Let's see, Oxy. Chris, please be patient with yourself too. You have no responsibility for writing content for us when you don't feel like it. Take care. Thank you. We don't know if we will see or hear from your daughter, Emerald Star. I have been exercising. It helps. Yeah, we do the Qigong. 5 Peace of Mind. We don't do it as much as we should, but that's one of the things we're trying to work on. 5 is saying that they have a very special video to be released somewhere in the near future within the month. We'll look forward to that. Let's see. Fuss the kitty cat. Yes. Blue Rose, oh, that meow. We had to put one of our cats down. Oh, he was a chatterbox also. We miss his meowing a lot. Well, we're sorry, Blue Rose. That's a shitty decision to have to make, and we've had to make it before. And unfortunately, no, we're not going to get into that. Not in any danger yet, but our boys are senior cats, and we know that it's going to be sooner or later before one or the other of them crosses the Rainbow Bridge. And not this one, but the other one is like, yeah. This is why I didn't want to even mention this. It's going to hit us hard when he goes. We're probably going to crawl into a hole for a while and not come out for quite a while after that one. We'll have to see how it affects the system, but yeah, anyway. Sorry, but yeah, Blue Rose, we're sorry about that. It hurts. It hurts so much. Bet your cat had the best life he could have had. Yes. This cat could at least show himself on the camera at some point. Well, we would. But he's just finally quieted down. Oh, yes, he was a very happy cat and spoiled just like the others. That's good. So painful. Yeah. Chris has a service. Cat recognized that Chris needed it. No, that would be his brother. This one just wants to go outside. That's all he's interested in. Okay, let's see here. Sorry, random weird noise. You know how it's like you're used to the noises in your house, and a noise that's not normal or is out of place will catch your ear. I don't know if you guys get it, but we are uber sensitive to sounds, particularly like high pitched noises and things. Um, but yeah. Okay, Houndoom. I think I'm weird in this. As an animal management student, I have just finished the behavior communication unit, so I don't mind constant animal meows, barks, and whatnot. Let's see. Even though the kennels I work at are so flooping loud, yeah, no kidding. Let's see what. Okay, you guys are talking in Dutch, which is cool. Happiness is waiting for the next shoe to drop. Yeah, no shit. Learning to be happy is a big one for us. Yeah, it's, and it sounds so stupid. Oh, you don't know how to be happy? No, we were never allowed to be happy. We were never taught these basic skills. We were never allowed to. We were never allowed to enjoy ourselves because we were always constantly looking over our shoulder for the next time that the abuse was going to come. Watching our caregivers, for their next bad mood or for the next pattern, and walking on edge skulls and doing everything that we can to anticipate that and head it off at the pass before we ended up on the shit end of the stick again. Sound familiar, folks? It's like, ugh. So yeah, happiness is waiting for the next shoe to drop. We like that. That's accurate. 15. Hope my dogs will live that long. Yeah, our cats are about 15, somewhere between 15 to 18 right now. But, cats can live to be 30, so maybe, hopefully not. Let's see. Tay had to disappear, but hope you're doing okay. Yeah, we're all right. It's just been rough, and we're kind of on that emotional ragged edge. So everything is like right here. Normally we're a little more together, but and of course all of this has been affecting our already crappy sleep schedule, and just Julie sharing her traumas, and that's just stuff that we don't want to look at right now and can't look at right now because we're in the middle of processing John's, and that's tough enough as it is. And we think that that's why she started to come forward, is because we're now finally starting to process John's. We probably shouldn't without a therapist, but we can't help it because it's going to come out on its own anyway. And all we're doing is simply applying the tools that she taught us before she left us hanging out in the wind. Thanks so much. But we're doing our best. But sometimes it just gets to be too much. Let's see. Happiness is unfamiliar territory. Because of that, it is uncomfortable. Do others feel this way? Will it ever become comfortable? Hope so. We're right there with you, and I hope so. Oh yes, episode 2. 15 is very respectfully for a nude kitty. Welcome back. Saying welcome back to Tay. Happiness sounds wonderful. Let's see. Yeah, sorry, girl. Please reach out. We miss you and we are worried. Emerald Star taking off. Bye. See you next month. Absolutely. Thanks for stopping in, Emerald Star. Hang in there, okay? And don't forget to self care. Circadian, I can absolutely relate to the hypersensitivity to sounds. Hearing phone chargers buzz and other sounds that other people are not even aware exist. Oh dear God, yes. The number of times that we've looked at our wife and said, "Can't you hear that? It's driving us nuts." And I mean, she's half deaf anyway, because of her ear issues with her ears and whatnot. So she can't. But it's like even our daughter, she'll be, "I am not hearing anything, Dad." And it's like, oh, the sound is drilling into my head. It's like, okay, like in Walmart, those stupid rotisserie chickens, the alarm that they have for those things when it goes off. I mean, we literally just have to plug our ears. Oh my God. When we were at our daughter's graduation on Thursday, there was there were a couple points where there were some high pitched noises. I think it was feedback on one of the speakers or something, and we were just, I mean, we were literally in the front row by the stage. Because my wife, being a teacher, she actually got to give our daughter her diploma, so that was really cool. But we had like front row seatings, not in the stands or anything, but like right there. So it's like, okay, sit still, smile, don't fidget. But oh, we had to cover our ears for that because it's just, ugh. And we've also discovered, and we don't know if any of the rest of you experience this, and we might have mentioned this before either on a live stream or an episode. We've discovered that one of the ways that we can tell that we're going to hard switch is that we will get a high pitched ringing noise in our right ear. That just immediately preceding or as we start to go into a hard switch. We're not sure why, but we've learned that that is a reliable indicator that we're going to do a hard switch. So I don't know if any of you experience that, but we sure do. Let's see. Wow, we're actually gotten caught up. Let's see. Blue Rose. Yes, we hear the buzz from devices too. So annoying. Spindle Sunset, just a Spindle, hello, just popped in. Who's Julie? How's the recovery? It's been a while, so I'm a bit lost. Yeah, we haven't seen you in a long time, Spindle. How have you been? We hope things have been going well with you. Julie, we'll take them one at a time. Julie is a new alter. She is just starting to come to the surface. She is the female counterpart of John, who we hope that you're familiar with. John is our non-communicative alter. He lives in an adamantium bubble. He is forever caught in the weekend when we were abused. He thinks that we're at the party and that we're being shuttled back and forth between our next mommy and our next daddy who will play with us. And yeah, we mean that exactly how it sounds. We even had a script that we had to follow that would tell you exactly within the course of about 5 sentences what sex they expected you to be, whether or not they expected you to make noise, whether or not they were going to beat you as part of it. It's sick and institutionalized and scary AF. We actually have it written down. That was part of our trauma therapies. Is we actually sat down and graphed it out, and it's a brutally efficient, coldly calculating way for sick. Yeah, I'm going to stop right there because we're already on edge, and I can't discuss that in a detached manner at the moment. So let's see, where did you go, Spindle? Yes, so that's Julie, but she has pushed some very powerful trauma images at us. She at least is aware of us, or at least on a peripheral level. We can sense the connection there where we don't have that with John. So that's where he is. How's the recovery? A bit at a day, a bit at a time, one day at a time. We have finally begun to learn our trauma reactions and why we're having them and recognize when we're starting to have them so that we can, short circuit the process. So it's bit by bit, day by day, but we've come a long way since when we were first DX'd and started the channel. It's hard. It's still hard. It's a struggle every day. Some days are better than others. Some days are worse than others. It's just the way that it goes. This is DID. Um, this month has been rough for us. Just go back and catch up on the stream when you have time, because we go over what we've been dealing with this past month slash several months. Everything has just kind of come to a head this month. But we are making progress, and we do recognize that, and we do, give ourselves credit for that, because we are moving forward, and we want to share that journey and our journey towards, functional multiplicity and how we achieve that. Where we're not one of these channels where it's going to be like, oh, we're living in misery with you guys all the time. It's like, oh, we're so depressed today. We're going to do is it a Twitch stream on that or whatnot. That's just not what we're here for. So yeah, so it's been rough, but we're managing. We're managing, Spindle. But yeah, probably quite a bit of backlog of content since your last year. Go ahead and hit the videos. Everything's still all in chronological order. Stuff that run together are on. We always put stuff on playlists so you guys can find it. Several new little stories since the last time that we saw you. So check those out, definitely. So yeah, that's basically answers to your questions. Congrats to your grad. That's she said, or they're saying it's so sweet that her mom got to hand out her diploma. Yeah, that was really great. I mean, we kind of wish it had been us, but small stage and whatnot. But it was still really cool to be right there and be supportive of her. Let's see. Stephen Loach, yes, tinnitus with switch or panic attack. Thank you. Yes, tinnitus. Absolutely. So Stephen gets that as well. Good. We're glad. I mean, we're not glad you're having it, but we're glad, glad we're not the only one. Let's see. Spindle saying, oh, wow, that's got to be hard to have a new altar surface, especially coming from that one video with the food. Man, I hope she settles as best she can. Yeah, that was the incident when she was created as well. Are you my mommy? Are you my daddy? Am I your good girl or good boy? Am I your bad girl or bad boy? This is the script. They made us memorize it. And John is forever. Every time that he comes out in therapy or comes out, that's the first thing that he asks. Are you my mommy? Are you my daddy? The therapy session that you're listening to with John in the part one of the food series, that was our actual therapy session. He came out, and that was the first thing that he did, because he was absolutely convinced that this was just simply another room in the mansion. There's just no other word for it. Where we were at for that weekend or series of weekends, we're not sure. There's some discontinuity in there. So we're still kind of nailing that down, because we are processing through John's trauma right now as best we can, because we have to, even if he's stuck. But he is forever trapped. He is forever trapped in that never-ending hell weekend of going from one pedophile to another. And there were male and they were female. There were couples. There were two women. There were two men. Name the variation. Sometimes they would just get a group of us kids there and say, we're just going to watch. Okay, we'll stop now. I'm sorry, trigger warning, but yeah, you get the point. Boy, we got a lot of anger burning under the surface today. So yeah, Spindle, it's been rough. It's been rough. She seems to be more or less more patient. She's not really pushing the trauma at us the way that others have in the past, but it's also extremely potent. Not that it's not bad enough as it is, but some of the stuff she's sending us is just absolutely, yeah. So yeah, hopefully once we're done with John, we'll be able to help out Julie. What is it with all the J's? Jenny, Jane, Jill, Jack, John. It's like, what the hell? It's like, I don't know if it was something with the child trafficking world or whatnot, like a Jane Doe type of thing, but it's like we've noticed it's like there's all these J's. It's like, what the hell? We're random, I know. Spindle, I've been maintaining, yeah, taking it day by day. Yeah, exactly. 5 pieces 9 is saying hard switches for us just happen, no warning, but would a warning make a difference if it's a hard switch? I don't know. Maybe. Like I said, we've only noticed that it happens, and it's like right as it's happening. Like there's barely a split-second difference, but it's like, oh crap. And then the next thing I know, it's 30 minutes later and I'm somewhere else in the house. So it's like, ugh. doing God only knows what. Spindle, oh, I meant recovered from the surgery, but I'm glad you're feeling more, let's say, acquainted with DID. Oh my God, half our system starts with an S, Stephen. Okay, so yeah, it's maybe it's the same thing with you. From the surgery, yeah, Spindle. Sorry. Yeah, boy, you have been gone for a while. Yeah, no, we did get the ACL surgery done on our right foot. It hurt. Oh my God. Um, we don't really ever want to have that happen to us again or have to go through that again. He says as the left foot has been kicking up this last week. Different area though. That might just be a muscular strain. We've been doing stuff outside because we've got this terrible invasive weed called stink net. Literally. It's this little yellow thing that grows all over the place. It's actually an invasive plant across most of the Southwest. California, New Mexico, Texas, Arizona, Colorado. I think it's gotten even into Utah now. But apparently it came in California for someplace in South Africa, but it's this really invasive, nasty smelling plant. And it just covers the ground and grows about, so high. And it just, it stinks. It just reeks. You go outside and it's instant headache. And then it dies and sits there and there's pollen all over the place. And it's really irritating. And of course, Boots is having to go out and do yard work because when it dries, it's literal tinder for a fire, and it's a huge fire hazard. So we've been going out a bit at a time because we've got a fair-sized piece of land, and so first we hit it with a lawnmower to knock it down, and now we're having to go and rake it because all of the stems and whatnot are laying there as a tinder box. And as things heat up, the fire danger is extreme. And, having almost had our son burn our house down, we really don't want to repeat the experience with a wildfire. So there's that, yeah. So yeah, Spindle. But yeah, we had the surgery on our foot, and that went well. We've got full use of it. And anything that was not fun, and as a result, our gait has changed, and the way that we carry our weight has changed some. So we're still kind of adapting to that. But yeah, better now. Not fun, but everything went okay. Let's see. Circadian saying it's not a channel to feel sorry for yourself, but this channel is a place where people are there for each other. You have built this space, and honestly, you should be proud. Thank you, but we built this space. You guys as well, because these live streams would not be the way that they are without you guys coming together to help each other and give tips and tricks to each other. You're not coming to us for a clearinghouse on sources or things like that. We give the informational episodes and whatnot, but that's not the way that the live streams around here work. And that's something that we've encouraged because everybody talks about, the DID, the YouTube DID community and whatnot. And it's like, let's not get into that ball of wax. But here's the deal. When everybody was saying, the DID is shattered and it's turned in on itself and, it's so toxic. Well, you know what? That was right around the time when we started our channel, just before the shit hit the fan there. And what we saw was you guys coming over and helping each other, not latching on to a new DID creator. Oh my God, that type of mindset, but that you were actually here to help each other and formed a community all on your own. So think of us as you guys are the pond. We just stood there and threw some rocks. You guys have been making the ripples. Okay, so we are proud of you. We're not diminishing our, avoiding, giving ourselves credit. Thank you. We do. It's been a slog, and sometimes it's difficult. We just want to stop with it. It's just like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? We're out there, we're trying to give good representation and good information, and there are other channels out there that are just spewing bullshit and lies and misinformation, and they've got hundreds of thousands to millions of viewers, and they're filling these kids' heads with bullshit because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They haven't bothered to look at the science or anything behind it. They're just, and so we wanted the focus of our channel to be different, and you guys have helped make that happen. So thank you. And sorry, a little bit of real world frustration there. It's tough to do the right thing and keep going and keep going and keep going when you see other people just producing shit and making the whole situation and the representation worse, and it makes us angry. And this is a reason why we stay off of social media. Number one, we suck at it because, yeah, we're old. Okay, it changes so fast, and there's a lot of nuance that we just simply do not understand, and that's okay. We're comfortable with that. And plus, we don't have the time to be on social media. In addition to dealing with all of this shit, we've still got a family to look after. We need to support our wife as a teacher because she works her fingers to the fucking bone. And any of you who may be teachers, who have teachers, go up and hug them and thank them, because this is like one of the most thankless, hardest jobs on the face of the earth. And the way that the parents treat the teachers is just absolute crap. They get shit on from the administration all the way down to the parents, and they're out there paying money out of their own pockets to try to provide these kids with a good education, to give them a good start in life, to be there for them and to educate them and give them the tools that they need. And they're getting fought all over the place. And we see our wife come home sometimes so frustrated that she is in tears, and we want to do more, and we want to support her and help her and be there for her, but there's only so much that we can do. And she carries this incredible burden around. And we're incredibly grateful, and we love her so much, and we do our best to be supportive. But God, she's just dealing with so much. And just going to the graduation, she's introducing us to all of these, movers and shakers within the local city that we live in, and it's like she's gotten way more connected than we thought. I mean, that's not her, raison d'etre, but doing what she does, because she's a fantastic teacher. Oh my God, she's like the type of teacher that you hope that you get, the one that's tough but fair, but really does get it. Sorry, I know we're going on here, but it's just they carry so much of a burden. They do it thanklessly for most of the time, and her students just love her. And she deals with the kids with IEPs, with mental health issues, and we live in an area where there's a lot of really hardcore stuff. These kids have hardcore trauma. Just like, would not be surprised if a lot of these kids are not systems, or will end up as one, because but yeah, because she has the training and she is trained to, deal with trauma and whatnot. She's taken, continuing educational lessons and certs and whatnot. And so they will give her the more difficult kids. And unfortunately, she gets dumped on in that way. I mean, she's got like 30 kids, or maybe even more than that. And she's got like 4 or 5 that are on various stages of the scale. She's got this one kid that just drives her to absolute distraction. And fortunately, his family is very supportive. But it's a fight for her every day to deal with these kids who are disruptive, and still manage to teach the kids who are sitting there waiting patiently for their other classmates to stop being jackasses, so that the rest of them can do what they're there for, which is to learn. So yeah, the teachers fight, and they fight hard, and we are so proud of our wife, so incredibly proud. And we try to support her in every way that we can within our limits, and we would love to do more, which is one of the reasons why we are so damn dogged determined to keep going and to heal, and to keep moving forward. Because one of the things that she said to us after the incident that nearly tore the entire family apart, was that she would never leave us as long as we kept trying. And so we keep trying, because we need her. And we'd like to think that she needs us a little bit too. And we would love to take more of the burden off of her, but we're just not sure how. And the only way that we really know how is to keep going and moving towards functional multiplicity, and keep working and keep trying. And we have our bad days, and she understands that, and she accepts that, and she knows that it's not going to be peaches and cream every day, and that we're going to have our ups and downs, but we still keep trying, and she sticks with us. God love her. Sorry, excuse us. Emotions, EPs near the surface. So yeah. We are just all over. Sorry, guys. But thank you, Circadian.
Five pieces of nine to empathize. I think you know that your system and ours have a lot of similarities about the trafficking worlds. The body's given name began with a J. Oh, okay. Spindle, stink net. Oh, whoops, wait, what? Hey, no, go away. Stink net sounds like suffering. Oh my God. Oh, it is so bad. Oh, it's like we don't have many allergies, but this stuff just, oh, it's terrible. Google it, look it up. It's nasty. Let's see, Blue Rose, our given name starts with a letter that a lot of alters have too as a first letter. Now, you see, that's just it, is you would figure that with us, we would have a lot more variations on, Chris. I mean, we have Christopher, and we actually think that we have Christopher A and Christopher B, with A being B from birth to, it's still a little murky there. And then we've got Susie, and we have Christopher D that came later on, who was shattered into Mimi, John, Jack, and Julie. But yeah, you'd figure we'd have more Chris or Chris derivatives, but nope, that's not the way it worked out. Their names are their names. So yeah, let's see here. So yeah, Blue Earth, it's kind of weird. So thank you guys for letting us know about that too, because data's always wondering about little, forgive us, data points like that. Everything is data to him. It's a fact that can be classified into this category or that category and retrieved. It's I don't know how he does what he does. Let's see here. The original body name isn't used or spoken by any of the system, and no one in the system has a name that begins with J. Okay, yeah, we understand there. We think that that's what's called a dead name. We don't really understand or identify with that whole concept, but it's valid for others. So hey, correct us if we're wrong. We're still learning a lot of the nomenclature, and it shifts so rapidly that we feel like we're constantly running to keep up. Okay, Spindle, this is a channel of realness, and I cannot stress how grateful I am for that. Like, no shade to anyone else, but yeah, the YouTube DID community, enough said. Thank you, Spindle. I mean, it's yeah, thank you. We keep it real. This is what it's about. It's like, and this kind of just goes along with, it goes back to like lying and telling the truth. Why lie? We have just never really understood why. And again, this is probably because of the trial of the trauma. All that a lie does needs to be covered up with another lie. Just tell the damn truth, because then you don't have to worry about this story or that story, or covering yourself or anything, or keeping. It's I don't we don't. I'm not quite sure if we're making our point, but just be real. That's what people want. They don't want performative, or at least it seems that there's a hunger out there for facts rather than the performative stuff that we're seeing online, and we are trying to provide that. There's enough that we have to deal with as systems, enough uncertainty, and enough that we have to unpack. You guys don't need us filling your head with a bunch of unnecessary crap. We're here to help you and help us understand the condition. When we learn something that we go, oh, wow, we should share that, we want to share it. But we make sure to source our shit beforehand. And like we were talking with the food things, we don't step outside, or we try very hard not to step outside of that box that we're qualified to talk about. And we make no bones about that. So we thank you guys for embracing our particular brand of gut wrenching, kick you in the balls type. This is the way that trauma and DID is. Thank you for that. And it's not like we try to kick you guys in the gut. It's just sometimes we know that this is the only way to talk about it, and this is the effect it's going to have. This is why we trigger warning our stuff and tell you practice viewer discretion, because we don't fool around. Because it needs to be talked about in that way, hiding it behind this term or that term, or censoring a word with an asterisk. It's you still know what the hell the word is anyway, so why are you bothering? It's like, we get it. We want to be sensitive and thoughtful, which is why we put up the trigger warnings. But yeah, we say words that others would, I'm sorry. Truth is hard. Truth is cold. Truth is factual. It does not leave room for self deception. And we have enough of that as it is because of the way that we were gaslit. And we're speaking we generally as a community of trauma survivors and folks who have been abused. We have enough of that already. We don't need more of that on YouTube or the TV or wherever on your little phone. It's just, we kind of just give us some straight up truth. That's what we were looking for. That was one of the reasons why we took to the entropy system. They spoke to us, and it was relatable, and they gave reliable information. So we've kind of tried to carry that forward. So thank you for that. We were all over Oxy saying we were all over the place with names, but many of them are somewhat older classical German names. Nothing wrong with a good solid name. Any chance on a video directed towards those who take a caring role in our lives, in other words, family members and things like that? That is something that we've been percolating on for quite a while. Our wife, we cannot and will not put her on camera, but she does watch our content. She is a member of the audience, sometimes on live streams, and she is happy to answer any questions that you have. So you guys, this is an open call. If you have questions that you would like our wife to answer, she's willing to do an episode where she will address these things. Verbally, mind you, we'll have to, blur out and whatnot, or not show her on camera, because we are very protective of our privacy, and particularly her privacy, being a teacher. But if there are questions that you would like to know, things that you would like to ask her directly or family members, please let us know. Write them down in the comments section here, or actually we'll do up a community post later today or tomorrow, just basically calling for, what do you want to know? What do you want to ask? So yeah, absolutely. There is a chance for those. So yeah, absolutely. Stephen, we'll see if we can get that going, but we need questions from you guys to ask her first. So ask anything, okay? Anything that we're not comfortable with or she's not comfortable with, we'll let you know. We're pretty clear about our boundaries with that kind of thing. But as you guys know, there's not much that we haven't been willing to discuss, so ask away. Okay, let's see. Blue is saying, back to the names, we think it's handy for them to categorize, memorize all the names or something. It's a big reason we chose different names for ourselves. Both honestly, oxymoron, Chris, yes, and we are so thankful that you're here and doing what you're doing, and see we are here together. Thank you. Oh, did it just twip down on it? Okay, whatever. What oxymoron says. Oh, thank you guys. That's so sweet. What age kids does she teach? She teaches 3rd and 4th grade. 4th grade right now. She'll actually be doing a combo class next year with, I think it's 3rd and 4th. We're not sure because the brain's not in that mode at the moment. But yeah, she's elementary school. She taught high school before, but she says I won't do that again. So she teaches 3rd and 4th graders. Let's see. 5 Pieces of 9 had a centaur created because our protector said, I'm a protector, not a caretaker of littles, understood, because that way she could focus on protecting. Let's see. Spindle, I'm glad your wife is one of the good ones. Teachers contributed to a good chunk of my trauma. So, oopsie. Well, yeah, I mean, there's teachers and there's teachers, There are those who are in it for a paycheck, and there are those who are in it because they honestly give a shit and want to help kids. Fortunately, our wife is one of the latter, because the paycheck is a fucking joke. Okay, excuse our French. And I think that's pretty much true of teachers worldwide. I don't know. How is it over there in Europe with you guys? Do you respect your teachers? Are they actually given decent salaries and benefits and not overworked and whatnot and supported by the schools? Let us know. We're just curious. Let's see here. Oxymoron, I think your wife knows that you're doing your best and want to help her more. She's a good one, but you are too. Thank you. Let's see, Enterprise Crew. We've lurked but not engaged with the online DID community for a couple of years now. Your channel is consistently classy. Straight talk, hot topics, no BS, and we always leave feeling less alone. Well, you're not, and thank you for your kind words. That's our mission statement. We're just giving it to you guys straight up, and we know we're not for everybody. And frankly, we're surprised with some of the opinions that we've espoused. Like, for example, on the McLean lecture, we're surprised that we didn't lose like 1/3 of our viewership over that, because people don't like it when you say that endosis. So yeah, anyway, we said everything that we're going to say there. We're not going to go into it again. But yeah, we're kind of consistently amazed, because we'll do something when we think, oh man, I mean, not that we're hung up on sub count or anything like that, but it's like, oh, this is going to piss people off. It's like, oh, what flack are we going to take for this? But somehow, miraculously, we haven't gotten a lot of blowback on most of the stuff. We had somebody who sent her flying monkeys after us and learned rapidly that we don't play that kind of game and just simply won't respond. And that was that. And said person is no longer on YouTube anymore. So it was all just a tempest in the teapot anyway, which we knew it was, and it wasn't worth our effort anyway. So, and plus, as we've said before, we're kind of there's nothing that anybody could say that we have not already been told. We have been abused literally by professionals. There's nothing that some podunk kid or troll out there is going to say that's going to piss us off, that's going to hurt our feelings, that's going to make us have a knee-jerk reaction. This is why we tell trolls, this is why it's in the rules, don't waste your time. If you're looking to get a rise out of us, you're not going to get one. And part of this is being a Gen X. You can sum up Gen X in one word, whatever. Yeah, that's basically it. We were a generation. They didn't want us. We were told to keep quiet, keep our mouth shut, keep the hell out of the way, go away, don't bother them. You crying? Oh, well, we'll give you something to cry about. Yeah, we did not grow up in a healthy environment, most of Gen X, except for those who were fortunate enough to have rich mommy and daddies. So yeah, we're just kind of a little bit blasé about being trolled and being attacked and stuff like that, because it's like, what you gonna do? We've been through hell, man. We don't give a crap about, being vilified online. It's like, whatever, we're going to keep doing our thing. Enough of that. Let's see here. But thank you, Enterprise Crew. We appreciate that. We're glad that the content in our particular brand, I guess, is helping people to feel not so alone, because you're not. Oh, let's see. Teachers have a lot of power to do a lot of good and a lot of evil, unfortunately. Yeah. And okay, you have to understand with the bad teachers, yes, there are some bad apples in the bunch. Like I said, there are those who are just there for the paychecks. But burnout is a real thing in this profession. You get teachers who go in there and they want to be there. They're there for the kids. They want to educate. They want to help, give the next generation a good start, a good foundation. But they are fighting a constant battle against lack of funds, particularly like right now, school boards in America are being stacked with a bunch of MAGA idiots, Republicans who are now, basically starting a war on the trans. They're banning books. The next thing, I mean, we've already had book burnings. We are sliding into direct fascism. Never thought I would see this country come to that. Oh, God, we are in a mess right now. And we think it's just going to get worse before it gets better. God, we hope not. But, we're like, in Jurassic Park where the T-Rex is chasing him and he's like, oh, I hate being right. Yeah, it must go faster. Yeah, we've seen this coming for a long time, but it's unimaginably bad right now. And so the teachers are dealing with a lot of pressures that are not apparent to students and parents. And burnout is a huge thing in this profession. So cut them a little leeway. Yeah, there's a lot of assholes out there, but there are also a lot of good people who have just simply gotten so burned out that they have nothing left except the hope that they're going to make a difference to one kid, just that one kid. And actually, this is one of the things that we remind our wife of when she gets burned out and she has those days of despair. She's like, why am I doing this? I should just quit. I came this close today. And there's one student that she has that has been abused and has issues, who literally would not be touched by anybody. When she first came in, was very abrasive and rude. And by the end of the school year, she was hugging our wife and was like the only person she'd go up and give her hugs, and our wife has made a difference in her life. And we remind her, you showed her that there is at least one person out there who actually gives a crap, that she could trust, that is safe, that provided, consistent boundaries and consistent expectations, and was not just arbitrary. So when she gets in that frame of mind and she's despairing, and we get it, it's completely valid, and we'll support her no matter what she does, just the way that she supports us. But whenever she asks that, she's like, why am I doing this? And we just look at her and we say, the name of the student. And she's like, damn you. And it's like, yeah, but that's why. You made a difference in this child's life. Your contact and your trying and your working with her may very well make the difference. Later on, she may not remember teacher X, Y, or Z, but she's gonna remember you. She's gonna remember her 3rd/4th grade teacher because she made a difference. It's that ripple effect we were talking about. And so it's one of these where it's like, I love you, I hate you for reminding me of this, but that's why, because she does give a damn. She actually does care deeply. So yeah, sorry, a bit of a rant, but being a husband of a teacher, you see the inside. Props to your amazing wife, thank you. Oh, let's see. Spindle, EPs must be eager. Like, oh, shoot, are we crying? Oh, yeah, whenever the emotions start welling up, it's like, okay, there's the EPs. Don't be sorry, you're just being a human being. Thank you, Spindle. No, I get you literally. Why lie? Yeah, it's just so stupid. I get you exactly. Everyone is sick enough. We don't need lies on top of it. Yeah, exactly. 5 pieces of mind about names again. Speaking the body's original name can throw us into many flashbacks as a unit. We are under 10 years old again. Oh, yeah, we get you. Spindle, also, I guess it counts as a dead name. That's usually a trans term, but if systems use it, it's technically correct because you aren't using the name anymore, but it's iffy, Yeah, see, it's like some of that stuff, it's kind of like nebulous, and we're not sure exactly where it comes from or how it applies properly, so we try not to use too many terms like that because well, we're just trying to be respectful and we don't want to step on other people's toes. But if we do, it changes so rapidly and so much, guys. We're trying to keep up, but so if we, make a misreference or something like that, feel free to call us out on it. But please understand we're not doing it deliberately. So thank you for cluing us in on the trans term. We will watch out for that. We've seen it online in a couple places, and we're like, not quite sure we understand, but we think we get it. So thanks, Spindle, for correcting us on that. Blue Rose, yeah, we don't like to give a name either. It makes us feel little and vulnerable. We just simply identify because that's what like I said, we grew up together as a system without realizing it. So we've always identified as Chris as the body's name. Yeah, anyway. Although we've actually had 3 last names had it legally changed. Let's see. We also don't like to give a name. It makes us feel uncomfortable. This is Toaster. Hey, Toaster. It makes us feel uncomfortable and vulnerable. No one in our system uses the given name or any variation of it. Honestly, we have one name that we all go by. Yeah, and whatever works for the system, whatever pattern or method that you guys come up with, that is valid. It's okay. That's another thing that frustrates us, going back to the DID online community for a minute and other creators, not naming any names. Shit, and we just blanked on us. Damn it, that amnesic, that wall just came down and cut us off from the thought. What the hell was it? Let me reread the comment. Maybe it'll come back to us. So we encounter quite a bit. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. It's Toaster. We had a thought, but then it went. Okay, let's see here. Oh, we skipped over a couple of comments here. Oxy, well, yes, it is what it is, so why not say it like it is? Does any of you know Emily D. Baker? Not familiar with that. Facts, not fuckery. Yeah, I like that's that. Yeah, that's our mission statement. I like that. We will have to look that up. Emily D. Baker. Does she have a channel? Okay, we'll look it up. Do a little Google. IG, most systems are some sort of trans anyway, so, well, it should be fine. Toaster, also, we don't like to give it a name that makes us feel uncomfortable and vulnerable. No one in the system uses it, honestly. So the official name, so we encounter it quite a bit. Looking into changing our legal name for these reasons. Actually, it's a lot easier than you'd think, to at least here in the US, to change your legal name. Short, stop in front of a judge, give them the reason, boom, you're now legally somebody else. I think ours was like 150 when we had it done, but that was 20 years ago or so. Let's see here. Mainly because we didn't want to get married to our first wife with our abuser's last name. Because we were born under one name, our abuser adopted us, so we had his name, and it's a bad last name. It's one of those that gets you bullied in school. And then we changed our name again legally because we were damned if we were going to give our first wife that name. And our grandfather, they had no male heirs, so the family, that branch of the family line was going to die off when he died. So to honor him, because he's, what father figure we had came from him, and the influence we had came from him, to honor him and continue the family name, we legally changed our name to his last name, which actually made our last name the same as our mother's maiden name. So a little bit of weirdness there, but we did it as an honor thing and to not pass on our abuser's last name. Nope. Total spite move right there, but yeah. Let's see. Oxy saying, I think the teachers here have it a little better. They're still underpaid and overworked and often get laid off during the summer holidays. Yeah, it's they just went into summer break now, but my wife is still working because she's doing the summer school tutoring. So she's literally sacrificing part of her summer to help these kids. So be a little patient with the teachers. Okay, let's see here. Blue Rose, we thought about that often too, but it's so expensive here. You have to have very good reasons that you have to prove, so no option for us. Toaster, we also encounter a given name for a variety of reasons when you're able to going to change our legal name. Teachers have it better here, but are still underpaid and overworked. Yep, seems like it's burnout from Pia. Burnout from teaching is me. I'm never going back. I taught uni, totally stressful. I could not teach high school. I changed careers. Yeah, Pia, our wife actually started off teaching high school, and she's like, I will never do that again. Ever do that again. Can't say I blame her. Nothing against high schoolers, but yeah, you know. Let's see, talking more about the name change. Wife sounds so amazing. Thanks you, P.S. She is completely. We'd say that she's better than we deserve, but that's a trauma reaction, and that's a trauma attitude right there. The self-depreciation. So that's another thing that we're our current project, not to say sorry all the time. And feel comfortable doing that, which is hard. Oh my God. Cannot believe the amount of times that you apologize in one day until you become aware of it or start to make yourself aware of it. Let's see here. But yeah, she's amazing. Let's see. Spindle Sunset, wish there were more covert systems online that had content like you because representation is important. Not everyone is overt, but like, man, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. So frustrating. Yeah, thank you, Spindle. Wait, I had that backwards. Overt systems online. Not everyone is covert. Yeah, we are covert within. We're really only kind of over online where it can be safe, because where we live, it would not be safe. It is not safe to be overt. No. We would be beaten at the very least and shot. Not safe where we're at. Let's see. She was interviewed for an article. I wasn't sure if you saw it or not. It is when. I'm not sure what you're saying there, Hope and Joy. When. That was Entropy System. Yes, sorry. Had to pull that out. They've been offline for a while. Good. I'm glad. They deserve. Let's see here. We still remember that one awesome teacher from our childhood. Your wife is amazing. Yeah, exactly. Everybody has that one teacher that stands out. Isn't Emily Baker an astrophysicist, or am I getting confused? She has a channel. She's a lawyer and covers some trials and talks legal stuff. We'll have to check her out. We actually used to work in the legal profession. We've actually been in the legal and law enforcement profession in various. We were not a cop. Okay, we're not saying that we were ever a cop or in law, that side, but we were in the clerical back end of it. We worked in a court. We worked for a lawyer. So yeah, we know legal and we hate it. Good at it, but hate it. Not fun. But we'll check that out. Yeah. Anybody with a blunt attitude like that is worth a look. Okay, let's see here. About more changing name. Spite move, legit move. Yeah, exactly. Changed your name 5 times for each piece of money. That was a bad. Let's see myself out. Remember, kids, living out of spite is a valid first step to surviving. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to read that again because that is truth. Remember, kids, living out of spite is a valid first step to surviving. Yes. We have never subscribed to that whole, oh, you have to forgive your abusers and just move on. It's not healthy. Bullshit. I'm entitled to my anger. I'm entitled to my hatred. I don't give a shit if you think I need to move on, okay? This is part of me. This is who I am. They did this to me, and I'll be damned if I forgive them. And I'm going to do everything that I can to live a successful life. We are going to do everything we can to live a life that's not filled with misery and self-doubt and just all the stuff that we deal with. We're going to learn to be happy. We're going to go out there. We're going to live the next however long that we have with our life actually living. So you know what? Those who say, oh, forgive your abusers, you know what? I don't have to. And yeah, spite and anger and hatred can be our therapist. One of the few things there are certain things she told us that stick out. And we've said this before. Anger is an action emotion. And we didn't quite understand that at first, but we did get it. When you are angry, you want to take action. It is an action emotion. And the only way to resolve that anger and to stop it from feeding back in on itself is to take an action of some kind. In our case, when we get that way, we will grab our sledgehammer and we will go out back and we will literally break pallets down or just wail the shit out of something and just shatter stuff while we're screaming obscenities at the top of our lungs. I'm surprised that we haven't had our neighbors call the cops on us yet. There's a crazy man out back swearing up and down and beating things with a sledgehammer. And it's like, no, this is how we process our anger. But yes, if you have nothing else, and for us, this is the way it was. We didn't realize that that the abuse was extensive as it was, but we knew that our stepfather emotionally abused us. And we grew to hate him. And now it's easy to see why, because he was raping us on the regular. And selling us on the regular. But yeah, we hated him. Absolutely hated it. We still hate his guts to today. If he was laying dead, if he was laying bleeding in the gutter, we wouldn't even give him the pleasure of spitting on him. However, we always have had a lifelong ambition that when he finally does die, we're going to locate his grave and we're going to go and we're going to piss all over it. May even take a crap on it just for spite's sake. But yeah, point is, you can use that anger because it's real. It's real. And as twisted as this may sound, it may be the only real thing that you have in your life to cling to. And it is okay to use that. It's not, eventually you want to work on letting it go, not forgiving. Notice I did not say that. We did not say that. But letting it go, because past a certain point, it does become detrimental to you. But there is absolutely nothing wrong. You are absolutely 100% correct that you can use that as a burning stick under your butt to make you move forward. And and we've done the same. We will not be like them. That has been the one burning core at the center of us. Even not knowing what we were, we swore we would never be emotionally abusive like that or put our kids through that kind of stuff. And for, about 90%, we'd have to say we succeeded in that. Did we drop the ball along the ways? Did we pass along some, generational trauma? Unfortunately, yeah, a little bit. Not as bad as it was with us. And, but we now know in return that our kids, when they go on to have their own kids, those kids are going to have a much healthier environment, a much honest environment because of our efforts now, because it is a cumulative effect. When you become a parent, you start thinking not only for your kids, but also for their kids, and particularly learning that you have the generational traumas. We're looking back now with that new lens going, ooh, we muffed it here, but we can't blame ourselves for that because we didn't know about it. So yeah, negative emotions can have positive effects, and that's one of the things that we're taught as a trauma, somebody undergoing trauma. Your abusers don't want you to get angry. They don't want you to have those legitimate emotions, so that unfocused anger turns inwards on ourselves because there's no other place for it to go, and that is constantly buttressed and reinforced by your abuser. as part of the guilt, blame, shame cycle that we've talked about in various videos, because it all boils down to those basic things. And they have instituted these patterns in you, these patterns of reaction, to keep you under their thumb. And these patterns will continue long after they're out of your life. And that's been a large part of our journey, is learning, okay, we have these patterns. We are reacting this way for a certain reason. Oh shit, we're having a trauma reaction. Where is this coming from? Why are we reacting this way? How can we stop it and not do it again in the future? So yeah, sorry, rant, but show, damn it. Another moderated just handled this. Here, show. Blue Rose, your message got held for review. We approved it, but it's going goofy on us. Let's see here. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Fuck forgiveness. Working very hard to feel the very justified anger. Yeah. And everybody's agreeing with Spindle. Absolutely. For most states, okay, talking about the name change. Yeah, 5 pieces of 9, you got it exactly. Okay, let's see here. Show. Okay, whatever. Okay, thank you for kind of saying, at least we chuckled a little bit. Let's see, Docs is crave, so we can all join in. This is also a joke, but man, I hate bad people. Yeah, and part of us is also like, but even that, he's not even worth that. But God, there would be some vindictive satisfaction in just standing there and going, ba, 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 you're dead and I'm not, you motherfucker. Take this shit. You know, it's like, yeah, we're vindictive. Just a little bit. A little bit. Let's see here. Alicia, fully agreed on the whole. You have to forgive your abusers thing. Makes me absolutely livid, especially because it often comes from the Christian housewives cloud. Yeah, we know what you're talking about. No parent is perfect, especially traumatized parents. It's hard to work to fight that cycle, but the positive work you did to fight it means so much. Yeah, we're trying. We're trying. We will not give up. We cannot give up. We are constitutionally incapable of giving up. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never going to keep me down. Yeah. There's a reason why we play that Chumbawamba song. It's on our, okay, pick ourselves up and feel good playlist. Let's see here. But yeah, Spindle, you're in. Let's see, Circadian, I don't want to go on a tangent here, but the forgiveness obsession is often motivated by religion, either consciously or not. Yes. I would not want to live in the USA for so many reasons. Yeah. Yeah. Let's not get off into that. Fully, no, let's see. Enterprise crew. Anger was buried deep for us because it was absolutely unsafe to show it growing up. Still fight against expressing it, and our angry ones feel controlled and suffocated. Yes, absolutely. We are there with you 1000%, which is why we're suggesting the whole anger is an action emotion thing. Find yourself an outlet for them where they can express that rage in a controlled manner. Like get some cardboard boxes from Amazon and just beat the shit out of them, stab them with a knife, go nuts, whatever it will help you or them to release that rage and that anger and allow it to find some resolution. Which is why when we were a little bit shocked when our therapist was like, okay, go out and back and beat the shit out of something, knock some boards apart, break shit, yell, throw some glass, stuff like that. She's like, you need to get this out and expressed, otherwise it just festers on itself. So yeah, find yourself some way, without hurting others, obviously, that you can express that anger. Some people will do it through exercise or things like that. That's never been enough for us. We really need to physically break something, fortunately not our hands or anything. We're not the punch the wall or kick the wall or harden the body type when we're angry. But yeah, that urge to kick or it's very satisfying to take a sledgehammer or something and just break a pallet up or an old piece of furniture or even rocks. Hell, we pounded the ground sometimes. But yeah, find a way that you can express that anger and realize that it's okay. It's okay to be angry, and it's okay to have those feelings, and it's okay to express them. Don't deny yourself that. Yeah, but yeah, we are with you there. And it is absolutely unsafe to show it when you're growing up, but we're there with the Enterprise crew. We are there. Oh my God, the struggle is real on that. Alicia, also in terms of anger, use it. Don't let it use you. Yes, absolutely. Yes, very well spoken, 5 pieces 9. We believe that forgiving our perps show. Okay, let's see here. Sorry, we just had a pop-up thing. Let's see. Yes, 5 pieces 9. We believe that forgiving our perps takes away our permission to be angry about what the perps did to us. Yes, well spoken. And we all have a right to that anger. We have a right to that anger. Let's see. Toaster can relate to having a hard time expressing anger for us, especially emotions, because we were made to feel like we couldn't show our emotions. It's safer. It's safer. Become a mouse. Become a shadow in the corner. Children are meant to be seen and not heard. Well, it's good to not be seen and not be heard. Escape. Get the hell out. We stayed out of our house as much as we possibly could once we were the age to do it. Let's see here. Oxy, we were not allowed to have any emotions. We still have a hard time even naming emotions, not to talk about actually allowing us to feel them. Yeah, absolutely. And as you guys are seeing, as we're saying, and you guys are backing it up, this is a common thing. This is one of those basic things at the root of trauma and our reactions that needs to be talked about, not brushed under the rug. There needs to be real conversation about how they with your emotions and how important it is not just to reconnect with them, but to process through that anger and allow yourself to feel it. Because it's like with us, we've got fucking years of anger, intense anger that we had turned in on ourselves because of the abuse that only is now coming out. Well, actually, it's been leaking out throughout our entire life, but now that we know what it is, and we have to, instead of suppressing that, which is what you've been taught by constant abuse, to that it's okay to feel it and to express it. And that's a hard battle. But yeah, because it was dangerous for us to show emotions. It was dangerous for you to show emotions. Because any little thing could be seized upon and then immediately used against you. Oh, you're sassing me. I didn't say anything. I can tell just by the look on your face. Generally followed with a backhand or something like that. Yeah. Let's see here. But yes, Alicia is correct. Use it. Don't let it use you. It's a tough line to walk. We have a lot of shame. Blue Rose is saying we have a lot of shame, and we had a lot of shame and guilt about feeling anger, let alone showing it. Spindle, it's on my feel good playlist too. Yeah, there's just something about that song. It's like that just encapsulates it perfectly. I know it's about, going out and bar hopping and everything, but underneath there is an underlying message there of never give up, never surrender. Yeah. Oh, let's see. 5 pieces 9. We have a part that holds all the rage. 2 Enterprise crew that holds all the rage and anger for the system. He's 14 and is strong. Yeah. Let's see. We, especially one of us, get angry on behalf of others, though. That is apparently allowed. I know. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Those angry 14-year-olds can be strong as fuck. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, anger will give you immense strength, just physical strength, because again, all of those lovely, when you get angry, guess what just happened? You just triggered the stress response cycle again, and your body is being flooded with adrenaline and cortisone and all of the chemicals that you've already are used to feeling on a permanent basis, because our stress response cycle is for DID systems, it's been permanently switched on, because the way that the amygdala has encapsulated the trauma and snapshotted it, it never gets turned off. We never reach the resolution phase. So we're constantly on that. This is why anxiety and high alert and situational awareness and hypervigilance is such a common thing with trauma survivors, is because the stress response cycle is more or less permanently switched on. And we never let down off of that, except with the use of drugs and things like that, which, again, we go over this in our Comfortably Numb, the substance use and DID series that we did. It's because your body is also producing those endogenous opioids as part of the fight or flight response system. And those are to dumb down the pain. But it also binds that together so that in order to get some relief from that stress response cycle, you need those kind of opiate derivatives. And if your body isn't producing enough, this is why it can be so easy to fall into the self-medication and then the addiction trap, because you're subconsciously looking to come down off that constant, or it can be, not for everybody, obviously, but for a lot of us, yeah. Okay, let's see here. Not having none, they get pushed down to row. Yeah, absolutely. Spindle weight. It's about bar hopping. Laugh out loud. That was his good old stomp and clap perseverance chant. That's funny. Yeah, watch the video and listen. He drinks a lager drink. He drinks a cider drink. It's if you watch the video is actually where it comes more into it. But it's basically he's kind of bar hopping, or at least drink hopping. It's about yeah, so on that level, but it's kind of like one of those dual things. It's like, okay, here's another one for you, and I'll bet you a lot of people have missed this, but we clued into it. The song "Don't Worry, Be Happy," Bobby McFerrin. Do 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 do. Okay, yeah, everybody knows that. Sorry, I just gave you guys earworms. I know. And the song is all about being happy. Don't worry, be happy. Your landlord say your rent is due. Don't worry, be happy. If you watch the video, the song is actually about a guy who loses everything in a stock market crash and commits suicide by jumping out his window. He takes off his shoes, so he's just standing there on his window ledge with his socks, and they show him falling forwards, and then throughout the rest of the song, you'll notice that he doesn't have his socks on. So the song is literally about a guy who commits suicide, and then the rest of the song is about don't worry, be happy. It's like, oh my God, it's like one of the perkiest little tunes. But if you watch the video and pay attention to what they're showing you, it's got this whole thing underneath. It's like, and we were like, oh my God. It's like, so yeah. Let's see here. Perps had a tendency to not feel as powerful when we learned not to cry. Oh, they love it when you cry. That's a total power trip thing for them. Now look up at me. Yeah, we're going to stop. But yeah, we know. Here comes the anger again. Yeah, that's classic there. 5. Let's see, Steven. Stress turns, can't shift, lift one, lifty boy in about a second flight. Yeah. I'm not sure why I decided to review that one. Let's see, 5 pieces of 9. I will never let you see the tears that you made me want to release. Said silently to the perps. Yeah. You find little ways to fight back. Little tiny things that you cling to. Until they take those away from you too, but exactly. Let's see. Spindle, I gotta watch the Don't Worry, Be Happy right now. Oh my God, yeah. Artists like to troll us with the music videos. Now let's see. Oh yes, and some of us felt powerful when the bad people had a full-blown tantrum when we didn't cry for them. Oh yeah. Cut a narcissist or an abuser off from their supply and they go nuts. Truth, but it cost us more to not cry, so we learned to fake cry. Yeah, and it's not that hard to do. We get you.
Or when they won't stop until they see you cry, then punish you for crying. Yeah, they don't care. They just want to get their jollies off, and they'll do anything and say anything to you to do that. Yep. Absolutely. Okay, let's see. Where are we at on time? It is 3:30, and we are getting hungry. We are going to go ahead and wrap up the stream, guys. It's been a great stream. Thank you. We've dealt with a lot of, kind of serious stuff. Hopefully, we've aired this out for everybody back and forth. We are so incredibly proud of you guys for just who you are, the wonderful systems that you are, for the fact that you keep going. Okay. That in itself, just merely existing, going day to day, choosing to get up out of bed can be so hard, but it is an accomplishment for everything that every one of you have been through. Give yourself some credit. This is one of the reasons why the first thing that we do when we get up is we get out of bed and we make the bed. Even sometimes if it's just pulling, the blanket, the quilt straight over the top, comforter, whatever you want to call it. It's because then for the rest of the day, we can look at that and go, oh, we accomplished something. It may sound stupid, but it's a mental thing. So you might want to try that. Just find some stupid little, thing that you can do every day where no matter how bad it is, you can look at that and go, I did that. I did something today. I changed my environment for the better. It doesn't have to be huge things, just little things like that. Start with a small thing and build up from there. And when you fall back and you're in the pits of despair, go back to that one simple, small little thing, but cut your guys some slack. Cut yourself some slack. You are fighting against patterning that was put into you before you could even think straight, and then reinforced over the years again and again and again and again. And it was not your fault. No matter what they told you, no matter what they said to you, no matter how much they twisted it, guys, it wasn't you. You didn't do it. You didn't cause it. You didn't ask for it. It was not your fault. It wasn't ours. It wasn't yours. It was theirs. Put that onus and that burden right where it belongs, on their shoulders. Stop carrying their weight around. Take that monkey off the back that they sewed on there and super glued on there and say, I'm better than this. And that's not easy to do. It's a battle. It's a struggle that every single last one of you, since we first met you, since you first started to the live stream, you have made progress. No matter how. We've seen it. This is why we catch up with you guys, because we care, and because we also want to show you guys, even if subconsciously, that you are making progress. You are doing better. And one step at a time along that journey, you're getting better and you're proving them wrong. And this is why we tell you at the end of every episode, which we'll tell you in just a few seconds, those 3 things. So we are going to go ahead and close out the stream. Thank you, guys. Okay, we'll read these last few comments here. Let's see here. Take care, everyone. Everybody's saying, wishing to do the best they can with what they have. Yes, absolutely. Respect every one of you. Be all. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you for being here. It's good talking to you today. Have a great night wherever you're. Take care. Absolutely. We'll be here next month. Thanks to everyone. We didn't realize how much we needed this until we got here today. Thank you, Enterprise crew, and welcome to the channel, obviously, for those. Oxymoron, now you made me cry. Hopefully they're good tears, okay, because we meant it. All right. Love you guys all. And remember, say it with us. We remind you, as always, that you are loved, that you are strong, and that you are not alone. Okay? Love you guys. Take care. We'll see you on the flip side.